What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Irons and Chill, the first episode of a brand new football podcast that will be presented by myself, Mike Bryant, and my very good friend Andrew Brazier. Say hello, mate.
Hello, mate.
Just a quick lowdown on what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be discussing all things football, be it stuff from the Premier League, the England national team, the club that both me and him support, which is West Ham, which if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to tell from the free advertisements we're giving them. And
Everything else was dirty.
what's that, mate?
Everything else was dirty.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, we're pretty much going to sit there for a couple of hours just having a chat about all things football and hopefully have a laugh along the way. So if you if you like the sound of that and you like what you hear throughout the episode, please feel free to subscribe on iTunes. And if you're watching this on YouTube, obviously subscribe to the channel. It will be much appreciated. So should we let's get straight into this then, mate? Like I said in the start, we're both obviously West Ham fans, and with that normally comes some form of misery and just being let down regularly. And
It's about 80% heartbreak,
yeah,
20% sheer ecstasy. Last year, anyway.
Yeah.
Year before that, it was about.
Well, yeah, year before was fantastic, but I mean, we might as well start somewhere, and let's start talking about what was last season, the first season at the London Stadium. Wasn't quite what we thought it was going to be, was it?
No, it wasn't what anybody thought it was going to be. Like, I think people knew that the first year was going to be a massive struggle, 100%. Like, the place where we were at before had well over 100 years of history, and it weren't just that; it did feel like every supporter's home. So,
Yeah.
Up in sticks to what is an Olympic-sized stadium for, if we're being real here, not an Olympic-sized team.
Yeah.
There were going to be sort of speed bumps along the way, but there were more than speed bumps, weren't they? I mean,
just
at one point, I was convinced we were going to get relegated.
Yeah, it was looking that way. I mean, just before we get into the actual football side of things, what we went to the stadium quite a lot last season. We're not season ticket holders, but we went a fair amount. I mean, what are your thoughts on the stadium? Because obviously a lot of people hate it, a lot of people don't mind it, and a lot of people are very happy with it.
Aesthetically, it's fucking amazing. Like, there is no way you can look at that place and go, "Oh, it's a shithole," because it's not.
No, definitely.
We held the 2012 Olympic Games there. If that place was a shithole, everyone around the world would be turning around and saying that it was no good.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, it's an unbelievable stadium, but it's athletics purpose built. It's not football purpose built.
Yeah. I think
for a start.
If to be honest, the whole running track thing didn't bother me that much, to be honest. Like, I mean, the first game we went to was, well, obviously the Astra. Well, it was, not Astra. It was the first UEFA Cup game that we had there.
Yeah.
And then the Watford game. And both, the first game we were on the east stand, second one were behind the goal. And I didn't feel like I was too far away, to be honest. I felt we were fairly...
No, we went to a game before that. We went to the first game before the Juventus game.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
We were up on the side, weren't we? And then we were behind. We've been dotted around that place all season. Yeah. So I think in terms of getting an idea of what that place is like, because we've been in near enough every corner.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I think I've summed it up. To be honest, it's a beautiful, in terms of athletics, it's a beautiful stadium.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of football, aesthetics doesn't come into it. Like,
no,
if that's being used as a football stadium, it should have been revamped in such a way where it is a football stadium.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe it will in the future if we end up owning it, which is looking more likely with what's going on with the company that owns that ground. But I mean, that's a conversation for another day, I suppose. So, as you said, it did look at one point we were going to get relegated last year. I mean, you think to the start of the season, and there was all the talk of maybe we'll bid for Lacazette, we'll bid in for Baka, and Dimitri Payet had just had that brilliant season under Euros as well, and it was all looking decent. We were buying for Europe, which obviously in hindsight wasn't really the right thing to do. But players like Faguli and Nordveit and eventually Zaza and just players who had played in Europe before. Like, it seemed like, we'll do a good...
I think given Zaza's penalty in that European games, I don't think anyone was sitting there going, I can't wait to see what Simone Zaza...
True, but he did score against us in that friendly for Juve, and if a team like Juventus to see something in him, I think says something about what he's like. I just don't think ultimately he was cut out for the Premiership.
No.
That's it's just one of those situations. But I mean, what do you think was the main the main problem with last year because, like I said, I mean, not really. When you look at the starting 11, there wasn't really that many additions who were thrown straight in. A lot of it was sort of relatively the same. So what did you do? You think it was all because of the stadium, or do you think the Pyatt business that
No,
was
you
going
can.
on, or
No, I think the stadium had barely anything to do with it. Like, I very much doubt if you put in 11 players onto that pitch. Like, because if you're turning around and saying the stadium is an issue because we're no longer at home, then that should mean theoretically that every away game is nigh on impossible for West
yeah,
Ham to win, and that's not the case. So I think turning around and saying that 11 men can't perform because fucking the blade of grass they're standing on is different to where they were before is.
yeah?
I'm trying not to swear here, but
I swear away.
for me, for me, that's bollocks.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was bigger factors onto it. Obviously, the unrest would pay it, but that weren't like a massive issue until like December, like November, December.
That we know about. I mean, I remember when all that first started kicking off. I remember obviously ex WHU employee, shout out, who obviously spoke about it after
Your boy, yeah,
after Bilic did that press conference, and he said it had been going on pretty much since the summer, that he'd been like not really talking to people and sort of isolating himself and just being a dick basically.
yeah.
Like, so I mean, we obviously you can't really put a number on how far back that did actually go, but I mean, it would explain a fair amount because it just, for me, the biggest thing I noticed is how unfit we looked.
Oh yeah.
For like the first half of that season, I mean, not even the first half, most of it really, but especially the first half. Like I remember the first game against Chelsea, and it was just like,
Well, Gokhan looked like he's been out on the lash for about 3 months straight, didn't he?
I don't know, that bloke.
Come waddling onto the pitch, like
Might be the worst play I think I've ever seen in a West Ham shirt in my entire life. Yeah, I just even players like the players you expect to be like Noble and Kiai and Reed, like just all the ones you sort of rely on, just sort of run out of steam by the sort of 50th minute, and that's when we'd end up letting in about 4 goals.
There was a lot of question marks about players' sort of training regimes and stuff like that, weren't there?
Slav called them out, didn't he? After the Arsenal game, I think it was, when they fucking battered us at home, like was it 5-1 or something like that, and he said that basically the intensity wasn't there.
See, you could turn around and say it's noble of him to turn around and call it out, but the geezer's our manager, and if they're not pulling our weight, that shouldn't be that shouldn't be called out in a press conference. That should have been called out in front of all of them. Like,
again, maybe he did. I don't know. I mean, you think we're on a pretty barren run. You'd like to think that he pulled up with them, and if I don't know, I do believe that sometimes if there are certain occasions that you need to go public and just call them out. I think because it will get a reaction. If it pisses them off, it pisses them off, and they've got something to prove then. And I think at least that then it's given a bit more bollocks between them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but to be fair, things picked up around really after Payet went on strike. It all seemed to be picking up. I think.
Well, the first game without him was Crystal Palace, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and you
that
were
was
there.
A fantastic game. Yeah, that was I mean, that was the first time I've been in that ground, probably since the first. Even the first game, it was sort of hit and miss with the atmosphere, I guess, because everyone was taking it in. But that's the first time I've been in that ground. No, tell a lie. Sorry, second, because the Chelsea Cup game was brilliant for atmosphere that night. But
yeah, no, it was.
That day, I think everyone, for the first time that season, was on the same side, which is mad to think we're talking about the same supporters of the same team. But everyone was behind Bilic, everyone's behind the team. It was a real big sort of everyone coming together and just basically saying, "Go fuck yourself. We can do this without you."
Yeah, it was probably a blessing in disguise, to be honest.
I think it was. Yeah, I mean,
because it gave all those players that did want to play for us a sort of like a pedestal to be able to stand on and go, "Fuck him."
Yeah.
I'm the new wonder boy now.
Yeah.
Like,
well, look at Lanzini, for example.
That's literally what I was about to say. Lanzini more than stepped up to the plate. Like, but yeah, the Payet thing probably did have something to do with it.
Yeah. Carroll hit a nice bit of form as well, and we sort of we hit a decent strides, and then January happened, and we signed. I mean, I don't have. I don't have much of a bigger problem with Fonte. I don't think he's brilliant, but I don't think he's terrible. But Robert Snodgrass. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you offered me the choice between Gokhan and Robert Snodgrass, you'd be like, well, at least Snodgrass has played in the Premiership. That's literally, I think, all he's got going for him out of the two. Because
But he was, for me, the warning signs, whatever. I know he was all right for Hull.
Yeah,
but,
for Hull.
Like, yeah, no, exactly. That's my point. Like, do you know what I mean? You put like a, I don't know. You put a fucking like, you spit on a lump of shit. The spit's gonna stand out, isn't it?
That's a fucking amazing analogy. That's a new one for me. Yeah, no, but it's bang on. I think because I remember the first couple of games, he was like, he looks alright. Like he works hard, and you know he's grafting, which is something we haven't seen a lot this season. I remember there was the Watford game where we drew 1-1 with them, and I was like, every pass and every cross, and just nothing was going right for him. And it just seemed that every game he was involved in just getting worse and progressively worse and worse.
His confidence has probably been knocked.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Because he's probably had one shit game and everyone was standing. And by this point, everyone's pissed off anyway because we're definitely not making the top half of the. Well, it looked like touch and go that we might do, but like we weren't going to make sort of like 10th or 9th or anything like that. And everyone was getting on his back. But the geezer's pony.
Yeah,
he's like.
I mean, I don't know how much of the pre-season you've watched so far, but I
watched the first half of the first game, the 0-0. I know we beat Fulham today.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of that. Again, he looks shit.
Yeah. And this is like, I know it's to build fitness. I think these first couple of games are meant to build fitness, but I mean, there are players like, I mean, all the youngsters are looking really good. For Gooley looked quite good today from what I've heard. Like I didn't really see too much of it, but from what I heard, everyone seemed quite impressed with him. But the sort of running theme so far has just been Snodgrass is terrible, still terrible.
Yeah. He'll end up going to Championship, won't he?
Yeah. Or
it wouldn't surprise me.
He'll go Championship team or someone who's just come up. He'll go to like Brighton or
Huddersfield or something.
Or maybe even Burnley will take him. I think.
I don't think Brighton would have him.
No, I'd be surprised.
I think they've got more. I think they've got more sense than that.
Yeah.
I reckon I would have him back.
Yeah.
Arthur Benson and a button.
They can have him for nothing, mate. I mean, it's mental that we paid.
Yeah.
Was it nearly 10 million for him? It's just fucking unbelievable.
He earns a fair whack in wage as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's. I'm guessing. I think it's around probably 50 odd K a week, which is just ludicrous. Like,
I wouldn't even give him 50 quid a week.
Yeah.
50 grand. Like,
but I mean, you know, we somehow managed to finish 11th, which I mean that was. I mean, I think like you said, I think there was a point. I think we all thought relegation was at one point nailed on.
I was convinced.
Yeah,
I was convinced. I turned around and said it to you a couple of times, didn't I? Like, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, I think my only thing was like there was a point. I think when we lost to Bournemouth and Hull back to back, and I was like, well, yeah, it does look quite possible, and also Hull were just appointed Marco Silva, and they were looking quite decent. But I knew it was going to be between like us and like probably Hull and Palace, I think, because I think I understand Swansea as well because they ended up surviving. But obviously, I think it was obvious that Sunderland were going to go. It was obvious. Well, actually, yeah. So yeah, it was actually quite tight. Really, now I'm thinking about it because Sunderland was the only obvious one.
It was massively tight. There was there was easily 8 teams in it.
Yeah,
easily.
Well, it was only when we beat Spurs, which was probably the greatest, probably the best game that stadium's seen so far.
100%.
Like, I mean, like I said, the Palace game was fantastic. The Chelsea one in the Cup was brilliant. But I think just for what that Spurs game meant, you know, it stopped them winning the league. I don't think Chelsea were going to slip anyway, but just to actually be the ones to put the nail in the coffin. And it confirmed our status in the league, which is massive, and for it to be against them as well. And like I think every single person in that ground was up for it that night. Like the crowd were fantastic. I mean, it was a very rough season last year, and it got by like, I think by January I was done. I just wanted the season over with. Even if we finished 17th, I'd have been happy.
Everyone was saying the same thing, weren't they?
Yeah.
Just have it done. Call it to an end now. Like,
yeah. It definitely.
You know.
You all right?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just getting something.
Snacking.
Chewing gum in.
Not bad. But yeah, I mean, I think. All right, let's. where do you stand now then? And we're gonna touch on factors that's already. We're going to touch on obviously the signings we're looking at making this season already, but off the back of last season, before any signing were made, where did you stand with the manager? What was your? Were you solely in the I want him to go and want to bring someone else in, or were you more willing to give him another chance and give him like at least the first 10 games of this season?
We spoke about this after the Chelsea game, the league game, not the cup game.
Yeah, that was a.
And you asked me that then, and I think I'm going to stand the same point then of where I am now. He got to the end of the season, we didn't get relegated. Obviously, if we'd have been relegated, he'd have been out on his hero.
Yeah.
Like, I think you give him the first 10 to 15 games. Obviously, if we're stonking, you leave the man where he is. But I think if he gets up to his 10th game and we are looking shocking, especially with the signings we're about to make as well,
yeah,
I think he has to go. Like you said to me yesterday, it's on him now.
Well, yeah, this is it. I mean, I think I've always been of the opinion, even when it was looking bad, I was very much of the opinion we should keep him. Because I think I love the bloke. I think he's easily on my favourite manager we've had in God knows how long. I just think, as bad as last season was, I don't think the season before can really be forgotten about. And I know everyone will say it was down to Payet, and it was down to, Payet basically. But I mean, tactically we were spot on front most of that season. I know there were a few iffy games, but I don't think. I think it's like I said to you before. I think you have one great season, one shit season. I think you need the third one to see where you're actually at.
Yeah, which is what I think I said to you.
Yeah.
In the end, actually, I think because I was when the shit was hitting the fan, I was definitely one of those moronic people that was sitting there and turning around and going, "No, he should be sacked. He should be sacked." And at the time, I don't think you can blame me because we were giving half-assed performances.
It was
getting beaten
understandable.
5-1 or 5-0 by Arsenal. I don't think we even pulled one back.
5-1.
Getting beaten 5-1 in our own state, like at home, not even giving it a fair go. But yeah, I say you give him 10 games. If he's not doing too good by the end of those 10 games, then we look at someone like Benitez. Benitez is who I'd want.
Yeah.
If there was a manager's change, Benitez.
Yeah.
And that man ain't happy with Newcastle at the moment either.
No.
He's the only one. He's the only one good enough. There's no one else available.
Would you not take? Mancini was one that was named last season. Was not one you wouldn't. Me personally, I wouldn't want Mancini. I think he did okay with a really good Man City squad, and the first year they won the league, I think he just about scraped it. Which, like I said, for the squad they had, wasn't really.
He strikes me as a man who will want the world from the board, and the board can promise him the world, but won't be able to deliver it.
Well. I don't know. I mean, that'll come up. The board will come up later when we talk about the next one we'll talk about because. But yeah, like I think Benitez I'd be cool with. I think he's maybe a bit more defensive of a man, like in terms of his play than I'd maybe like. But then again, if he gets the results, it doesn't really matter, I suppose. But if it was down to me personally, I've always said Eddie Howe is someone I'd like to see managing us. Yeah. But I think. Because I don't think he'd go to. I think it'd be bad for him to go to a big club straight away. Say if Wenger goes off 2 years, and they take a punt on Eddie Howe because of the way he plays football, and it goes badly after like first 5 games. It's a David Moyes over again, and where I think coming to a club like West Ham, or even if it was someone like Everton or something like a similar level before making that jump, I think that sort of shows where he's at and what sort of pressure he can cope with. But obviously, it's all hypothetical. I mean, Bilic is definitely the man for the foreseeable.
But he's still got the job, hasn't he?
He's still got the job, so it's obviously. I mean, it's fairly. I would say pointless talking about it, but it's something you guys have got to think about, I suppose, because
it was being spoken about last season, mate.
Exactly, and I think there is arguably more pressure on him this season now, given what we're doing in the transfer window, because
he needs that third season, but if he's doing shit for a quarter of that third season, then we can't afford to take the chance. We can't.
Not at all. Because there's no guarantees in the Premiership anymore. Like, it used to be quite a given that you could at least 2 of the promoted teams would go straight back down. I don't think there is that possibility. I think Huddersfield will surprise people this year. I think Brighton will surprise people this year. I think Newcastle will probably go down because
agreed.
they're not signing anyone.
Agreed.
But
well, they've got no one at the moment. Do you know what wouldn't surprise me is if they got Sissoko back on the last day of the season?
That'd be fucking hilarious. Did you read apparently that fucking Spurs might have to pay Sissoko to leave? I have to pay 30 million for him, which is like,
what a hero.
I mean, that in itself is just absolutely fantastic. I know a lot of people give Levy credit for managing the wage bill and getting high money for the players that he sells, but that's got to be one of the worst deals in Premier League history.
Yeah,
30 million for
a better club.
Bang average player and having to pay for him to leave.
Couldn't happen to a better club.
No, I know. If I say all the clubs it could happen to as well, it would have to be Tottenham, and that's what makes it glorious.
Yeah. Can we get onto the more exciting thing?
Yeah. Now so. Yeah, for those who are listening, I think this is when we first talked about doing this podcast. I remember saying to Andy that the first one, if we time this right, the first one's going to be one of two things. We're either going to be really, really ecstatic with some transfer dealings that the club will do, or it's going to be an hour and a half, 2 hours of us fuming the fact the boards have let someone go because they weren't willing to pay wages.
Yeah.
Now, by some divine miracle, it does look like that Gold and Sullivan have learnt a lesson from last season because, as confirmed today, on the day of recording this, West Ham, the club, put out a statement on their website, as did Bayer Leverkusen, confirming that basically Javier Hernandez is flying in on Monday to sign his contracts and complete his medical and to be announced.
That's fucking insane.
That
is fucking insane.
I'm still
Mexico's top ever goal scorer.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm still not.
Three Champions Leagues.
Yeah, was it 3 he won with them?
I think he got 2 for United and 1, or 2 for Madrid and 1. I don't know. Whether it's 2 or 3, it don't matter.
Yeah,
it's more than fucking...
It's more than the club's got.
I mean? Yeah.
He ain't won an Intertoto Cup though, so we got that on him.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's when we were. We're both just. This is the one, isn't it? This is the signing that we have needed for
the best part of about 8 years.
Arguably since Dean Ashton retired. Yeah. Because Carlton Cole, bless him, was brilliant for us in the Championship, and he did a job for us when we were in the Prem. But he's not your striker you're taking into the London Stadium trying to push to the next level. And I think what worried me about this deal was when it first popped up was the early reports were. Well, the first thing that X said when he mentioned it was there's the buyout clause, 13 million, which in this day and age, the fact we pay. I mean, apparently the buyout clause is now bollocks. We're paying closer to 20, but even so, 20 million for a 29-year-old proven Premier League goal scorer is fucking phenomenal business. In this day and age, when you think that Kyle Walker's just gone for 50 fucking million.
We'll talk about that later.
We will talk about, and there are other deals that are just mind blowing. But to get someone of his ilk for let's say anywhere between 13 and 20 million is incredible business. But when the thing was that apparently wages are an issue. As soon as I read that wages are an issue, I thought, oh, here we go. And I think I said at the time, I tweeted something out basically saying that for the club to expect someone like Hernandez to take a wage cut to join West Ham is naive and inexcusably arrogant. But I've eaten my words because the board have clearly learnt the lesson and they've paid for him. They've given him what he wants by the looks of it, and he's not only come in from the looks of it, wants to come. He wants to play for us.
Yeah, and I think over the top of that, considering how much of a shit show last season was in terms of transfers, if they didn't stick their hand in the pocket,
oh mate,
fans would be going fucking mental. Do you know what I mean? You've moved to the stadium that costs you like £2.5 million a year, and you're telling me you can't stick your hand in your pocket to pull out an extra 40 grand. Like,
yeah, and you think that, and the fact that the Payet money that that we know there was wages left over from the Payet sale, and like players have already been sold this season. I mean, I was always, because people were panicking, and understandably so, that we weren't really signing anyone, and we looked quite slow. Like I thought when it was June, and I was like, it's still, the window's not even open yet. Let's calm down. But when even like a couple of weeks ago, people were really starting to sort of get frustrated and worrying that we weren't going to sign anyone. But I've always said, like, our board ain't perfect, but it could be a lot fucking worse. Like we mentioned Newcastle, like I know I'd rather have Golden Sullivan in charge rather than Mike Ashley.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
like that club is on its arse, and
Yeah.
they're going to be until he fucks off out of them.
Mm.
But like I said, the board aren't perfect, and they made a lot of errors last season. And like you said, I've always been, they're not great, but it's better than what it could be. But I would have, if we hit the 1st of September and we had only signed, say, Andre Gray and Pablo Zabaleta, and then had all this, well, we tried, I would have been fully on the other side. Like, I want them gone. But
yeah.
it doesn't look like it's going to be that way because I'm still trying to process it all, though, to be honest with you, mate, because it's like it's a genuinely fantastic signing.
It's fucking stonking.
And like I said, the thing that's just perfect for me is the fact that from what you read, he wants to join. He's very enthusiastic about coming and playing for us. But
it's not just him, though, is it? And Nautovich wants to join as well. And I know some people are going to turn around and go, "Wow, he didn't want to join when he fucking joined Sky." Who gives a fuck? He wants to join now. That's all that matters.
And that shows. And when you think that us and Stoke at the moment are currently on a similar level, that shows. He obviously looks at us and goes, "Well, they've got something going on here. Like there's something to this club, and if I go with them in a couple of seasons' time, could be where I won't be if I stay at Stoke."
It's a TV screen, mate.
What's that?
It's a TV screen, mate.
Yeah, big. Yeah, for fuck's sake. I forgot about that. Fucking, that might be. It wasn't even the West Ham media team. It was the London Stadium media team. That might be the stupidest thing, embarrassing thing I've ever seen our club do on social media. Did you see the one with the London Stadium tweeted by Munich?
Giving it the big one to Bayern Munich and then getting bit slapped back as a reply.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's. I don't know what comparison to make to that. It's just like picking on the big kid in school. Do you know what I mean? And being like, "Oh, I can fucking do you," and him just going, "Sit down, like, sit down, know your place, just get back in your box." And I saw that, I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, that's all we need." Like, we're not.
At least it weren't from the club.
No, I know.
For a change.
But, yeah, to be fair, but yeah, I think with the signings we've got coming in, right? So let's just do like a quick little roundup. So first signing was Zabaleta.
Should we do? Should we? I was going to say, should we do ones that we've already signed first?
Yeah.
Then the suspected.
Yeah, because Hernandez is still not technically confirmed yet. Like, which is, I mean, it's obviously all. It might as well be, but yeah, it's not. He hasn't signed yet. That will happen on Monday. But yeah, so Zabaleta was the first one that was confirmed.
Mhm.
That for me, I think was that's a fantastic sign for us. I was chuffed when that was made official that we had signed someone of that quality for that position as well, because God knows we needed it.
Well, you know what my views are on this, so I can't really sit here and bullshit.
Well, I can't remember actually, Steve. I can't remember your reaction, so it'd be good for a refresh.
I had my reservations about it. My concern was if we started signing players like Zabaleta, and bearing in mind his age, we were going to turn into some sort of weird Premier League retirement home where we were looking at players that the big clubs don't want anymore because they're too old, and that was what I didn't want to happen. But the geezer's been pretty solid during pre-season. That first game, mate, he was tearing up that wing like fucking. Yeah. He had a shitload of pace for a 32-year-old. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah,
right now,
yeah, more.
In
a period where apparently we're just building fitness as well. You know, it's definitely encouraging. And I think even like, because I know Arbeloa was brought in last season for that sort of. The line was, it'd be great for Byram to have someone like Arbeloa next to him, but
which I agreed with.
I did
in that aspect. I agreed with it, but
it turned out he was a massive bellend apparently.
Yeah.
Did you hear the story? Did you hear the stories about Arbeloa and what happened between him and Bilic? Apparently in training, honestly couldn't make this up. Apparently in training, he either kicked or sort of hacked down one of the youth players, and Bilic pulled him up about it in front of everyone, and then Arbeloa turned around and was going, "Who are you to tell me like what to do? I'm a champion. Don't you know who I am? I'm a Champions League winner, I'm a World Cup winner, this, that, and the other." And Bilic told him to do one basically.
Wow.
Which, for most former World Cup Champions League winning players, I'd be like, fair enough, you got a bit of a point. But I watched that Arsenal game where he was subbed on,
Oh God.
And
Fucking Christ.
I watched him.
I'd have been better off there than him.
I watched him in a back. He's playing in a back five. Let's not forget. So there's 5 defenders. I think I said to you at one of the games, but I still can't get over how poor it was. But the bloke's positioning, like you said, for a bloke who has won World Cups, European Championships, Champions League, various La Ligas. Fucking, he was standing about like this close to Winston Reid.
The geezer's legs were still retired.
I mean, it's not even about legs. It's just where to stand on a football pitch. Do you know what I mean?
Run, no.
Like, well,
he could run. He could stand.
You could tell Reid was sort of looking at him, being like, "Chamberlain's coming down, mate. You might want to, stick a boot in." It's like, no, it's fine. I'll stay here. It's fine. It'll be fine. It's like, no, but he's...
I like you. I'll stay with you.
I'll stay with you, mate. It's like, yeah, that was shocking. But I think obviously Zabaleta's obviously a much better professional, I think, and
he's a fucking lump as well.
Yeah, he is.
He is, mate. He's a lump. Like,
I think.
But yeah, no, it'd be.
I think.
Yeah,
sorry, go on.
I take back what I said before. I think he's a good signing, but I would like to think that it's a signing that's been done. That it's a geezer that can sort of guide Byram. So, how long has he been signed for? 2 years. I
believe it's 2 years. I think there's an option of a third, but I'll be very surprised. Unless it's like
well, you never know.
Yeah, because he's like, what, 32, 33?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think... And to be fair, I don't think he's...
Lahm was playing.
Yeah,
Lahm was playing until he was like 36,
exactly.
Wasn't he? So...
And I think that it's actually quite good for us, I think, that he was pushed more centrally towards the end of his City career, I think, because that obviously offers a little bit more in terms of versatility from him. It's like, well, if he does need to, for whatever reason, if we have a horrific run of injuries or whatever, and he needs to play CDM, we know he can do a job there. But I also think that I'd be surprised if we see him play every minute of every game this year. I think we will still see Byram, which would be good because I really like Sam Byram. I think he's a
cup games at the very least.
Definitely. Or if there's like midweek games, like the winter period. Sorry, But I think and plus just to have around the club. I mean, I think having someone of that leadership and that experience. I mean, like we lacked so much bollocks and leadership last year. Do you know what I mean? It's like you saw some of the games last season where we were at the one where we lost 4-0 to City. I think when Gabriel Jesus taught us a new one, and and you just sort of saw him looking around, just being like, "Oh well, back to the halfway line, we'll go again."
Yeah, but that's the thing. We'd gone a goal down, and straight away they were just like, "Well, this is done."
Yeah.
Like,
I think having someone like Zabaleta, I think he'll sort of help, along with like Noble and Joe Hart. I think will sort of help. Sort of pick them back up again.
Yeah, give them a kick up the arse.
Yeah, which is we needed so much more of that last season, and I think it's going to be telling. I think seeing what we're like going a goal down, or even 2 goals down this year, and seeing what our response is like. Because
if we've got the bottle to go back at them,
because that was a surprising thing actually. I think the difference between last season and the season before, because the season before we went down by a couple of goals fairly regularly, and we came back fairly regularly. Like we got a lot of points from just coming back from 2-0 down and getting a draw. Or like or there was like the Everton game where we came back in the final like 10 minutes and won 3-2.
What a game!
Which was hilarious, which was glorious. Fucking hate Everton fans, but like
what a game!
Yeah, but so it'd be interesting to see if we can get that back into our game this season because it would be so valuable. Like especially like I said, away from home, a couple of goals down to like Stoke or a team like Everton, you come back and get a point from that, whilst getting good results at home, and it puts us in good stead.
Yeah.
But I think it's a cracking signing, and I think it's going to, and it's just nice to see a right back playing right back.
Yeah, very much so.
Which shouldn't really be a problem, but that's as much as I love Slav, I couldn't understand not buying a right back in January.
Oh.
Like I know he wanted there was Byram, but even so, it's like it's not enough. Like because if he gets suspended, which did happen, we've got no one else to play there.
I guess the Arbeloa thing kind of fucked him a bit as well, didn't it? Because everyone was looking at Arbeloa thinking... I mean, I know when we announced him, I was sitting there thinking, fuck me. Like,
yeah, I was happy with it.
In Slav's defence, no one knew that Arbeloa was going to be a gigantic tosser.
True.
So
but I do think that I thought that whole thing had happened by January. So there was a chance there to still get a right back, and it wasn't taken.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
You know. But Still, that's in the past now. We have now got a right back, and we've got two very competent right backs, which is
Next person.
fantastic. Next person,
Joe Hart.
yes. Okay, now this one has bugged me a little bit. Not the signing. I think the signing's fucking fantastic. I'm
The world of
chuffed.
Twitter football, mate.
Yeah, this is going to come up a lot this season because I fucking despise football Twitter. I think they're all pricks. Do you know what football Twitter is like? It's like a new shitty form of hooliganism.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At least like in the 70s, people just beat the piss out of each other. But at least you never really heard about it unless you're at the game and got reported. Because it's on social media and it's all fucking 13-year-olds just being like using this Tin Pot Club. Oh, it's big in your club. Have an L. It's like, what? Why do I have to see this shit? Why is it constantly getting retweeted on my timeline?
Yeah.
By these fucking people. But that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, so obviously I was chuffed when we signed Joe Hart. I'm guessing you were the same.
Yeah, I was. I had my reservations, but I think as a whole, I was pretty pleased. Like,
do you understand my stance on it was when it was like, we're interested, but City want 20 million. I thought, well, if after we sign everyone else we need and there's 20 million in the bank and we can do it, go for it. But not if we need to sign a striker and that takes away from that. But when the loan deal came up, my first thought was, well, it's a season-long loan. If they're paying half his wages and it doesn't work out, just send it back at the end of the season. But I do think that some of the stuff I've seen, or some of the reactions I've seen, has been harsh.
Oh, well over the top. Well over the top. Don't get me wrong, right? The geezer had a horrendous Euros. Like, what was it?
Who didn't?
Six shots fired at him, one saved.
Yeah.
That's a terrible statistic. Like,
that really is, and I always say, but then who did really have a good tournament? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, no. If you're talking about England players, we were shit. We were shit, but like we're talking about Joe Hart here. And this is a geezer that's won 6 Golden Glove awards.
4, I think.
Is it 4? Yeah,
I think it's 4
whatever
Golden
it
Gloves,
is. Whatever it is, it's more than our goalkeepers for a long time now. Like,
yeah.
The geezer had a bit of a pony season, but I don't think that should be put fully on him because he was kicked out of a club that he's played for it's got to be surely 10 years.
Probably around that, yeah.
Yeah. So we're
coming
talking,
up to that.
Yeah, we're talking almost a decade. Do you know what I mean? Some geezers walked in and gone, "You're not good enough," has then been replaced with someone who fucking can't fucking catch or kick a ball to save his life 3/4 of the time. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
thank God Torino had the foresight to sit there and go, "No, do you know what? We'll give the geezer a punt." Now I know everyone's going to turn around and go, but he had a really bad season. Did you see one of the goals he let in where it was pissing down with rain and the ball? You don't know what a ball's going to do in that kind of conditions. Like, he come at the ball, he got something on it. All right, it weren't enough, but it was Torino. It's not like he was on a season-long loan at Juventus and fucked it.
Well, that's this thing. Plus, he was in a fairly, if not poor, bang average Torino team as well. Like,
he was probably playing for Italian's equivalent of West Ham United. Just with a stonking striker.
Yeah, and doesn't know there's the language barrier and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, yeah, from what I've seen last season wasn't great for him. But at the same time, like you said, I don't think you can disregard everything he's achieved and what he's done in previous seasons just on the back of a bad tournament and a dodgy season. I think I can't agree for the life of me this statement of, well, he's no better than Adrian. I just can't subscribe to that. I love Adrian. I think he's a great goalkeeper, but he's not.
Adrian is a phenomenal shot keeper, shot stopper. Sorry, fucking phenomenal. But the geezers don't have a set of lungs.
No, he doesn't, and
he's too rash. He's too fiery off the mark. The penalty he conceded last year when who was it against? When he come running at the geezer, fucking starfishing, like just clattered into the bloke.
Oh, was that Vardy?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, he got sent off for it. I think it wasn't a penalty because it was outside the box, but he got sent off for it.
Yeah.
Well, a similar thing happened last season with Stoke. That's what the game, the moment where he was dropped because he came out to get the ball, completely missed it, and then I think Bojan put it into like an empty net. And it cost us 2 points.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
It's all come flooding back.
But yeah, I tried to block out a lot last season, but it's kind of ingrained in my memory, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I know he's passionate about the club. I know he loves the club, but I think some of the stuff I've seen about, I don't know. I just think Hart is an upgrade. And you think at the end of the day, Adrian was dropped for a championship goalkeeper. There's no getting away from that.
No, definitely not. For me, it was a position that was needed. I think we needed to be looking at goalkeepers just as much as we needed to be looking at strikers. Strikers was more important, but goalkeepers was definitely up there. Who would I preferred? I would have liked us to have gone for Pickford personally, but
not for that price.
No, not 30 million, because he might be a one-season wonder.
Yeah, I mean Pickford's got a bright future, I think, but I mean, I don't think really anymore you can talk about transfer fees unless it's like a Hernandez deal where it's actually a good deal. But the inflation in the market's gone so far.
And that was Premier League to Premier League as well.
Technically, Championship to Premier League. Technically, because Sunderland relegated.
But
so, and the fact that they could get away with charging 30 million for a goalkeeper for a team that finished bottom of the league is
the fact that Everton were naive enough to pay 30 million for him.
Yeah.
Speaks volumes.
Pickford would have been good, but I think, like you said, for that price, I think we've got the best possible deal, I think. And from what it seems, there's no official, you pay this amount of money, you get me into the season. But I'd like to think there's some sort of agreement in place. We are at least like a first option. Do you know what I mean? Like, if City go, okay, no one's going to pay 20 million for Joe Hart, but we'll flog him for like 12. Do you want him for 12 million? And then we just take on the rest of his wages.
I'd have him for 12 million. You'd have him for 5 seasons.
Actually, I think at a club like West Ham, I think he'll flourish.
I think so as well.
I really do.
All he needs is one stonking game and everyone will love him.
And what better game for that to be against Man United? For a former City goalkeeper.
Oh, could you imagine?
I think and to go into a game against a team like that, I think it's great to have someone who's been, he's not only playing against Man United, he's playing against Man United in a Manchester derby. Which is, that's even more added pressure than just playing Man United. Do you know what I mean? It's like I said, I really don't have any qualms with the sign. I think especially for the deal it is, like I said, season loan, we're only paying about half of his wages, and he is still currently England's number 1 goalkeeper.
Yeah. Out of the 2 keepers who are like Adrian and Randolph, which one of those 2 would you get rid of?
Oh, Randolph. I think he's off anyway. I don't know if you saw. Did you see these? Yeah, apparently we've accepted a £5 million bid from Middlesbrough.
Oh, touch.
Who are in the Championship, which is Randolph's level, unfortunately. Don't get me wrong, he had some moments last season where he was blinding. And I think whenever he stepped into the cup games for us, he was always solid. But you saw once he got a run, the cracks started to show.
Oh, massively.
And that one against Sunderland, we would have finished top half. We would have finished top half if we had held up for the win in that game. We'd be sitting in 10th, which I know isn't a huge difference, but
but
would have been nice.
Being in the top half of the table, at least you can sit there. Fuck me, after the season we finished 10th.
Exactly. But yeah, I think if Adrian's happy to stay and be number 2, or even be number 2, fight for your place.
3/4 of the season just got as number 2.
Yeah, and people will say, "Oh, he was harshly dropped." This is the thing that bugs me as well. You see all these people jump into his defence were the same people that were saying, "No, drop him, start Randolph. Drop him, start Randolph." It's people are very fickle these days. I think. I think it's actually quite. I think it's quite. I'll say. I think it's quite fucking disgusting that someone's just signed, and there's all these people not willing to back him before he's even played a game for us.
Yeah.
I backed every single one the Saints made last season. I was like, I really hope they do well for us, because you want them to do well for your team. What's the point in signing players? You usually think, I do shit, so I'm proved right. Do you know what I mean?
It's because everyone's got a fucking voice now, and everyone thinks they're a pundit. And
irony.
Yeah, but when this ain't going to be a whatever long video of us sitting there going, Hart shit, Zabaleta shit.
Yeah.
Fucking Adrian, the best person since David Seaman. We're not sitting there doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no. If Randolph is gone, then good.
Yeah, it looks that way. I mean, good luck to him. I do wish him the best. Like I say, he wasn't the worst keeper we've ever had, but he just wasn't the best one.
Yeah, no. And for me, that's the point. He wasn't the best one.
Yeah, and you think Joe Hart's not going to be able to play against Man City, so that's 2 games we're going to need Adrian for. And I'd feel a lot more comfortable going to a game with Adrian between the sticks rather than Randolph next season.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and again, same as Zabaleta, man. He's a leader. He commands his defenders. Every time you see Joe Hart on screen, he's screaming at people. Do you know what I mean? And just getting organised, and I think it's going to make a world of difference. I think he's going to save us some points. I think next year.
Yeah. Well, next one now is transfers that are about to come in.
Yeah.
Or
fucking hell! Yeah. All right. I know we've already spoken about him, but I could spend the rest of this podcast talking about him.
We haven't spoken enough about him, mate. That glorious Mexican bastard. I can't wait. Like.
Yeah. I can't wait to see him in the shirt, mate. I know. I think the club must be confident that. I mean, because can you imagine if they put this thing out saying that we've agreed a deal in principle to sign him, and then like on Monday it's like, oh yeah, he's gone to Spurs. Oh. I'd be beside myself.
Stop following football.
Yeah. Move on to the rugby. I think these 2 deals. I think I mean, we'll go back to the Hernandez one a bit, but I think the Arnautovic one's an interesting one because not everyone's as stoked. I think the Hernandez one is very unanimous that this is perfect.
I'm on the fence with Arnautovic. Yeah. I'm massively on the fence with him. I think that man shows glimmers of being fucking unbelievable, but the glimmers are very far and few between. What you see of him just looking like he can't be arsed or barely putting a shift in. Like from what I've watched of him, he'll have games where he's fucking ridiculous. Like no one can match him. But I find that he has more games where he just looks a little lacklustre now. I don't know if that's just because he's playing for Stoke and he's sort of standing there thinking, what am I doing here? There's not a lot of progression here or all that kind of thing. Or if he's just a bit lazy by nature. Hope not.
Yeah, I mean that's the sort of. I mean, Matty Everington was saying on Twitter that's basically that. Like, you know, when he really applies himself and he's up for it, he's really fucking good. Like pretty much unplayable. But I think I'd like to think that in the Stoke team, what I think we got to remember is in his position. I think there's a lot of competition. Like, I don't think anyone's knocking on the door to take his place. Whereas I think in this team, he's got Ayew, who's before him our record signing. You've got Antonio who can play out there. You've got Lanzini who can play out there if need be. Arguably Masawaki or Cresswell could play there if need be. But I mean, there's plenty of competition for spaces. Mainly Ayew being the main one.
Yeah.
And I'd like to hope that he has that in mind because I think, because at the end of the day, if he has a couple of dodgy games, there's nothing stopping Bilic from going, oh, all right, sorry mate, Ayew's taking your place for this one until you get your act together.
Until you sort yourself out. Yeah. That might be the kick up the Jacksy he needs though.
Yeah, that's the hope, I think. And it helps that from what you read that, you know, Bilic really wants him and he really wants to work with Bilic and he wants to play for he really, again, like Hernandez wants to come and play for us, like the fact he had a hand in the transfer request. You know, for a club that's not playing in Europe and also mid-table, do you know what I mean? It obviously says something about what's going on at the club.
Yeah.
That he see, again, like Hernandez, he probably sees something. I think it's great. I think it's it's something we arguably should have done last season, which is targeting players from the teams around you and sort of weakening them and strengthening yourselves, because then it's one less player you've got to worry about when you play Stoke.
Yeah.
You know, and it's 2 less players you've got to worry about when you play Man City, and it's. I think arguably the fee, he's not worth the money at all, but I mean I don't think you can look at that anymore in the modern day, because
I think
Pickford's not worth 30 million.
How much is he? 24 million?
24 million, about that, yeah.
If you're using that as an arguing case, then 24 million is a fucking piss in the ocean compared to what... I mean, again, Kyle Walker, 50 million.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, in the context of today...
that can't defend...
Yeah, like in a context of today, obviously that is a fair price. But I think when when people go, "Oh, he's not worth it," he's not worth that sort of money. It's like, well, no player is worth. Like again, the amount of the players you do see going, Kyle Walker probably realistically should be being paid, be going for about 20 odd million.
Yeah.
In the sort of pre-inflation era, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now of it should be about a 10, 12 million pound player because prices have almost doubled pretty much.
But I guess with Kyle Walker, you can also argue he's the face of the English, of England in terms of defence. Do you know what I mean? You think England's back four? The second you say right back, it's either Kyle Walker or Klein, isn't it? So he's got that.
I've always preferred Klein. If I'm being perfectly, I think Klein's a much better
defender
and
Klein,
attacker than Walker.
Yeah. Because Klein can defend. He is a Champions League player now because Tottenham, albeit they weren't in it for very long, but they were still in the Champions League.
Won't be again this season.
No,
we'll go.
Probably not. But I guess in terms of, I can't believe I'm trying to justify this, but
I suppose you have to in the modern day, though, don't you?
In today's market, you can kind of understand the logic, and he's being sold to another team that arguably is challenging for the title. Like
you're not just you're not just paying for what the player's worth. You're also paying for what the player's worth to the club. So you think Sigurdsson, he's not what he's. I really like Gylfi Sigurdsson. I'd be stoked. I wanted him to come to West Ham. That's why I hope Swansea went down last year because it was like, oh, we could nab him for a decent price. But Swansea want 50 million for him because he's probably is worth for them staying. He's probably key to them staying in the Premier League next season.
Definitely.
Which is around 50 million.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've got no real qualms with the price, and it does make me laugh that you see people like fans of the club who are, I can almost guarantee, are the same people who were pissed off that the board weren't spending anything and the board are tight and they've got their hands in their pockets. And yet when they do shed the money on a player, it's almost like, oh, how much? Oh, no, we said spend money, but don't spend that amount of money on him. No, that's... Yeah. Come on, lads. Be sensible. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit... It's like, well, you kind of got to just go with the times now. Yeah. Like... Which I think they were guilty of last season, the board. Like they didn't.
Well, he's a left wing, isn't he? He plays left wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we need a left winger.
Yeah,
like really. Like, I think Ayu's a good left winger, but he always drifts in more central. He is an out and out winger. Like that's his position.
And I don't like Lanzini playing on the left wing.
No, he's number 10.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you smack him in the middle of that park. Like,
it was better when it worked when he had Payet there because they could always just sort of chop and change throughout the game. But you can't really it's not the same when it's him and Ayew or it's him and Snodgrass. Like, doesn't work
see.
as well.
I think the fee is fair. My only worry with him is his laziness, and he might prove me wrong. He might strut into the West Ham team and just absolutely bitch slap everyone he comes across, which I'd be fucking stoked with if he did.
Yeah, because on paper that front four is
phenomenal, terrifying
for defenders. Yeah. Like Antonio on the right wing, Arnautovic on the left, Lanzini in the middle, and Hernandez up front.
Yeah.
That's goals.
So we've done Arnautovic. The next one is Hernandez. It is. You can kickstart this one, unless you want my Mexican Michael Owen speech again. But
yeah, go for it. I think everyone needs to hear the Mexican Michael Owen speech.
But for me, that is Hernandez in a nutshell. Like, you watch footage of Michael Owen playing from Euro '98 up to about 2002. Chicharito is a Mexican version of that bloke. He demands that 6-yard box. He's basically Gary Lineker. Outside the box, he can't do an awful lot in terms of goal scoring. But the second he's in that box, if you're a betting man, you'd lay a score on him. You would lay 20 quid on him to get you a goal, 100%. That man has got 20 goals a season in him, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. He's proven Premier League, he's proven La Liga for the biggest club in the world, for both. He did alright in the German league as well. If you consider what team he was playing, if you consider the team he was playing for, it weren't your Bayern Munichs or your Borussia Dortmunds. I mean, it was.
Yeah, and I think from what I understand, Leverkusen had quite a poor. They didn't make Champions League again last season. They had quite a poor season last season, and he still got 11 goals.
Yeah,
in a struggling side,
which is stonking.
Yeah,
who was our top scorer last season?
I think it was Antonio.
With what, 8 goals?
Yeah, Carroll on 7. I think maybe Carroll on 7 just behind him.
There we go then. Enough said.
We haven't had a striker score more than 10 goals since probably Carlton in the Championship.
Which was a long time ago now.
Last time we had a player score 20 goals in a season, the last time we had a striker score 20 goals in a season was John Hartson, which was 20 years ago.
Oh. Fucking William probably weren't even born then.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't watch football back in those days.
No.
Like, so it's before my time. Like
Yeah.
I am confident in saying he's going to be the best striker we've had at the club since Dean Ashton.
I think.
Or Tevez, depending on but
I'm
after Tevez. But
I'm expecting him to be the best striker we've had in 10 years.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give him a chance to settle. That's the only thing I will say, because he, towards the end of his United career, he was pushed out on loan from a manager who didn't know the difference between his arsehole and his ear roll. I mean, even Jose Mourinho has come out and said if there was one player I wish United didn't sell, it was Chicharito.
Which makes you wonder why he didn't go for him. That is my biggest surprise, I think, so far. No, the whole time it was going on, I'm thinking, because I think most people, I was thinking someone's going to come in and swoop through.
Because I wonder if Mourinho had done that, if Chicharito had... The thing is, he's coming to us, right? He's already our number one striker. He fucking knows that. That's probably why he's agreed to come to us. He sat there and
the highest paid player at the club.
Yeah, the money's definitely got something to do it. But in terms of playing, he strikes me as a man that wants to play football. If he comes to a club like West Ham, if he'd have come to any club in the Premier League that was 6th position or lower on last year's table, he was guaranteed starting striker 100%.
Yeah,
that's definitely a big reason why it's coming. Because
someone summed it up brilliantly earlier. They said we've now as of Monday we'll have the best striker outside the top 6.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think because a lot of people I think were really pissed off when Bilic pulled the plug on the Iheanacho deal.
I wasn't that bothered.
I wasn't as angry as a lot of people. I was frustrated because I like Iheanacho. I think it would have been good. However, when you know that apparently Bilic has said that's the one I want, like Hernandez, that's the guy we need. That's one I identify, and that's the one I want us to do as striker. It's
the first player I've heard him turn around and say that's the player I want. Where I've sat there and thought, fucking right and all, because you look at the other players.
Probably since Payet, because I think he was the one who picked Payet out. I think as well.
Really, I thought it was the chairman. I thought the chairman had been nosing him, or we'd been offered him.
I think we've been scouting him, but I think Bilic also said he tried signing him when he was at Besiktas. So Bilic knew of him. Well, it might have been a combination of the two.
Yeah.
I imagine. But yeah, this is probably the first one that Bilic has gone him. And I think really it's a better deal. It's cheaper. It's someone who is proven. I mean, Iheanacho scores goals, but in a Man City team that has David Silva, Sergio Aguero, Leroy Sané, and Raheem Sterling, and Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
I think he would have done well for us, but £25 million for a 21-year-old coming from City is a risk compared to what you're paying for Hernandez, who has been there and done that.
He wouldn't be
consistently.
He wouldn't be 20 goals a season good.
No, I don't think he would have. Not straight away, anyway.
And I'm not saying that Hernandez is going to fucking strut into this team and score us 20 goals, but if the odds favour him massively.
Yeah. Because you think Ayu's very good at being a poacher. That's pretty much Hernandez's game, really. It's just, like you said, being in the 6-yard box and just being there to score goals. Which Ayew is good at, but Hernandez is that as an out-and-out striker. So if anything, that makes him even better at being that.
That is his game as a striker. He is an old-school striker. I
saw someone, because again, Twitter being... I was reading through the replies when West Ham announced it.
Oh, go on.
And Twitter being Twitter, you're going to see some more ones. This really... Because he obviously meant it to be an insult, but it does. I don't see how it is. Someone called him a tap-in merchant, and I was like, well, but if all he scores is tap-ins, that's still goals. So if he scores 20 tap-ins, that's 20 goals.
Yeah, a tap-in merchant in brackets, a poacher, which is what Gary Lineker based his game on.
Yeah,
one of the most phenomenal strikers in division in the old Division 1.
Yeah,
who is he? What is this? Just on Twitter? Yeah, he's a cunt. Needs to shut his mouth.
Cunt, yeah.
Fucking tapping merchant. What a knob.
I think I just sit there and go, brilliant. Like if someone goes, if you're signing a bloke as a tapping match, I go, fantastic. I mean, he's going to tap. He's score goals.
If he wants to tap in 25 goals for me, then lovely stuff.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care how they. Well, yeah, I was going to say I don't care how they go as long as he scores. His first United goal. So I've since it started looking like it was going to be close, I have been doing my YouTube research.
I've just reliving his. To be honest with you, mate, I've just been looking at gifs of him celebrating, thinking he's one sexy bastard.
Yeah, there is that as well. There is that. Oh, it's going to be so good. But yeah, like I watched a compilation of all of his goals for Man United, and his very first one was in the Community Shield against Chelsea, and the ball's whipped into the 6-yard box, and he sort of, I don't know whether he falls over, but he's sort of like, no, that's it. He swipes at the ball, but as he swipes, he trips over, and the ball bouncing up, hits his head, and then goes in.
The Jonathan Calleri goal of the week.
Exactly. Jonathan Calleri. That was I miss him already.
Yeah, same.
It's a shame. Yeah, it's mad that Barcelona were interested in him.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Stonking.
Spurs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it would have worked out either way for us that year because I remember Spurs. I don't know why I was talking about Jonathan Calleri or something, but I know Spurs were interested in Calleri and we were interested in Vincent Janssen. So either way, we both would have been stuck with a shit striker.
That's very true. That is very true.
So, you know.
But yeah,
I think
Chicharito, 10 out of 10, the best bit of business we've done alongside Joe Hart. Like,
yeah, this is.
The majority of my family are all, as you know, Man United fans. So,
yes, they are.
Whilst he was at Man United, and obviously every single United game was on the telly, my mid to late teens were spent watching that man banging goals for United.
Yeah.
So I'm well aware of what that guy's capable of. Did you see him in the Confederations Cup?
I didn't actually watch it, no. And I wish I had. I think it was before we were linked to him. I think we got linked to him just after they got knocked out. But if I'd known that it was a possibility, I would have watched every Mexico game. But I've seen some of the goals he scores. But it's mad to think how good he is in the air as well.
For a little bloke.
Yeah, like because he gets up and he can sort of adjust his body really quickly to react to get to the ball. Like you see how he sort of leaps and then sort of ducks down and angles. Like I mean, you think, like I see, he's got Antonio and Arnautovic and Ayew on either wing. He's got Lanzini there as support. He's got
Lanzini's the one.
Them two together.
That's gonna be, mate. Lanzini is a number 10's dream, a decent number 10's dream anyway. Like, that is goals in the making. It really is.
Oh, next season's going to be so much fun. And his first game against United.
Oh. We win 2-1. 2-1. I'm calling it now, 2-1. Lukaku gets a standard goal against us.
No, I'm early prediction. I could see us nabbing a draw. I could see it being the dream for me would be a goal. Obviously, I'd love to win, but I don't think it'd happen. But I think if we were 1-0 down and then he nicked like a 90th minute equaliser, that for me would just be fucking brilliant. I'd take that all the way to the bank.
I'm calling 2-1.
Yeah. You're a brave bloke. You're a braver man than me. I can't see us getting that one done. But well, there's one other name that, since the name came out, it is looking less and less likely. But
is it Wheelchair? Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Wheelchair.
Oh, we're gonna. I've got some thoughts on that. We are. Yeah. I can't remember what our stance is, what your stance is on that. But Balde Keita, apparently we've had the bid accepted for him. So it's confirmed that we've. Did you know that?
Nah, not fucking.
Oh no, yeah, so it's the Lazio guy.
I'm not too clued up on him, so you're going to have to take the reins on this one.
I'm very much I play Football Manager and FIFA quite a lot, so I'm a very good scout. I'm not, but I know he's very highly rated and he's very well thought of. But no, apparently we've had a £28 million bid accepted by Lazio, who don't want to sell him to a division rival. And apparently they're going to decide where he goes. However, apparently other reports suggest there's already an agreement in place for him to go to Inter Milan. Now, from what I've read, because I watch some YouTube hits, but I like reading what fans say about players and people who watch the league regularly say about because they had the better insight. It's someone from it.
He's another left winger, isn't he?
He's another left winger, but apparently he can play in the middle and up front as well, as sort of like a shadow striker, false nine shadow striker sort of role.
Okay.
I think I'm not 100% on that, but from what a lot of people were saying is like it's like he would be your best player if you signed him. Like he would be the best player in your team if you signed him. I don't think it's personally going to happen because I think if he's got teams like Inter Milan,
if he's that good, then why ain't someone like Arsenal or Spurs turning around and going, "We'll have him"?
Well, I mean, I think Juventus, Inter, and Dortmund are the main three teams who are after him.
And he's a left winger.
Yeah, but he's 22, so he's young.
And Dortmund have Royce and
who's always injured. To be fair,
Dembele and Schürrle. Is it Schürrle? Yeah, they Schürrle, didn't they? Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is. I don't know. I honestly think if we ended the window with Joe Hart, Zabaleta, Hernandez, and Adamovic, I think that's solid. I think that's fantastic. I think that's a great window for us.
I would like one more midfielder.
Yeah,
but that's not Wilshere.
No, it's not. That brings us nice segue. That brings us nicely on to Jack Wilshere, who, if from what Mr. XWH employee has said, has been issuing, I quote, "Come and get me, please," to the club, because apparently he really wants to play for us. Because apparently his parents are West Ham fans, and he grew up a West Ham fan, and blah 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 blah.
And he was just wearing the Arsenal top because.
Yeah, I don't want this deal to happen. I
don't want it.
I am saying that right now. I don't want Jack Wilshere because even if it's a loan, it's a waste of wages. He's not going to play, and I'm sorry, I don't. The system we play, I don't see where he fits because if we're playing a 4-2-3-1, I would like our two centre mids to be Obiang Ive next season.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I love Noble, but Obiang just be given.
But you know it's going to be Noble.
I don't think as often. I also, bearing in mind Obiang's just been given a new deal, so you'd like to think he'd be given more assurances that it'd be a lot more involved.
Yeah, granted, but at the same time, they could be giving him a new deal thinking, we got him by the balls because he's just signed a new 4 or 5 year deal with us.
Maybe, but obviously time will tell. But I mean, he was happy to drop Noble towards the end of last season, to be fair. Like, there was points where he dropped him when he was fit.
He had to, though.
Yeah.
He was playing like a crock of shit.
Actually, I was saying that he had the hernia as well, didn't he?
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, but but you take those three centre mids anyway, and I think even though Noble is on decline, he's still good to have, and I think that's still 3 solid centre mids, and also you've got Josh Cullen, who I think, from what I've been seeing, the little bits of pre-season I've seen, and what everyone's been saying, he's looking really good in pre-season, and he's really impressing. I'd much rather have Josh Cullen be our 4th choice centre mid, because apparently he'd be up for going out on loan to a championship team to be guaranteed first team for a year, which I get and I understand if that's how he feels. But Noble is key to, like, is susceptible to suspensions every now and then. Like, Obiang's coming back from injuries, he might injuries and suspensions happen throughout a season. I think giving Cullen cup games and bringing him in every now and then, I think would be great for us, and also Fernandes as well. We've got Edmilson Fernandes, who was.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, which is mad because I think he's a great young player. I think he's fantastic, and I think he's gonna be brilliant. I think in the future.
I think he's good, but I think he could do with a loan.
Potentially, yeah. But then
I think if there's one player that should be loaned out, it should be Fernandes.
But this is the thing. I'm not cool with us loaning out Fernandes and Cullen to bring in Wilshere for a season and then for him to be injured. Because then it's like, well, we've just got rid of 2 other centre mids, and if we hit a bit of an injury crisis, then we've got no one to fill in, and we're having to fucking. It'd be more fucking, what's the saying, round peg square holes situation.
Yeah.
I don't think it's needed. I think maybe unless he's cool with not being a guaranteed starter, but I just don't see where he fits into the team.
Well, he don't. So the simple answer to that question is he don't. Like you said, he's a waste of wages and he's a fucking liability. Like,
sorry, I forgot about this. So speaking of fucking Twitter overreactions, I was reading through just the Wilshere stuff. It was like no display picture or anything like that. Obviously, just some bloke who just uses just loves to get his point across. But he was like, I don't want Wilshere, he's a fucking useless junkie cunt. I was like, he's not a junkie. I think that's a bit far of a fucking... He has the odd fag. He's not fucking shooting up, is he?
He might be a cunt, but he ain't
No,
injecting.
yeah, like shit, that really made me laugh. It's a junkie. That's one of the best insults for a level of football I've heard in a long time.
I think, in terms for me, Cullen ain't going to get first team every week. He definitely ain't. So he's inevitably going to get loaned out. So we keep Fernandes in that case, but I would like one more.
I'd like another centre attacking midfielder. If we were going to bring another midfielder in, like there's this that Ndiaye player we've been linked with for a while, the one from the Turkish league, who again just looking at the couple of YouTube clips, he looks like a more attacking version of Kouyaté.
Yeah.
Just big, strong, driving through defence sort of thing. Now, if you had him in as sort of a backup option, like maybe Lanzini's getting bullied out of a game against like a Pulis team, and you wanted someone a bit more beef to him, then that'd be someone as an alternative option to have to play that role that I think would be decent for us. But I think I said Wilshere, I just don't see where it fits. I'd rather just get like a backup centre attacking midfielder to back Lanzini up if he ever gets injured or whatever. Like,
I'm trying to think in terms of attacking midfielders.
Yeah. Like decent, not ones that are going to be causing a fuss and not starting every week, because Lanzini is the main. He's that guy. He's the main number 10. And you could, I suppose, there is an argument for saying Wilshere could play that role, but I don't personally think he can.
No, definitely not. No way.
He's a centre mid. He's a more of an attacking minded centre midfielder than a number 10, I think. But
is your Frank Lampard?
Yeah. Basically, yeah, essentially. And whereas we need like a Joe Cole.
Yeah.
You know, so. But again, saying that, I think we have players that can fill that spot if need be. I think Ayew could. I wouldn't mind seeing Ayew do like a number 10 role. I think it'd probably suit him more.
It probably would.
Because he always drifts inside anyway, and he loves getting in the box.
For me, he feels a little bit wasted out wide.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like sometimes, especially when we're playing him, it feels like we're purely trying to accommodate him because he's in the squad, as opposed to putting him in a position where he could flourish.
Yeah, because he was weird with him last season because I mean I thought we had there's people who would be happy to see him gone. I don't agree with that, because I think he had a really good end to the season last year.
He had an okay.
Yeah, but you think I don't think he was fully match fit until like the last sort of couple of months. Like I think when he first, I think he was rushed back a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I think the initial thing was 4 months. We saw it, and it was like 2.5 months later he's back and he's thrown into the team against Stoke. But that's when we needed players, because we had Carroll and Sacco both out.
Yeah.
I think give him a pre-season. I think we'll see a lot more. Hopefully, see the best of him next year.
Who are still out as well? Who are still out as well?
Yeah, exactly. So,
that's something we could get onto.
Go on.
Players you would like to see leave. We said Randolph.
Oh, he's gone. He's going.
Yeah.
And obviously Nordvigt's gone. Valencia's gone. Caleri, bless him, has gone. Who would I say? Sacco is the first one.
Yeah, I want him gone. Yeah,
at this point, I'd rather just terminate his contract, to be honest. I think he's actually. It's a shame, because when he first joined for us, I loved him, but I think and it's a real shame, because I think he'd be a great squad player for us.
Yeah,
a really good squad player, but he's actually stinks. He's a liability as well with his back, and we're not going to see the best of him ever again. It's as simple as that, really.
I think he thinks he's better than what he is as well.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a stinking attitude. Like, at least with Carroll, you can tell he generally does want to play.
Yeah,
that's the difference between the two of them. That's why I'd rather keep Carroll, because as much as he's equally as a liability as Saka is, you can tell he generally does want to put the shirt on and play for us. Which, I mean, Carroll's contract's up end of next season. I'd offer him a pay contract. If we can get him on that, I'd happily keep him around. But Saka, I'd like to see leave. I'd like to see Snodgrass go.
Yeah, definitely.
And that, again, I think Collins key. I said this yesterday.
You keep him.
Collins stays.
Yeah,
stays till he retires. play him in the cups,
give the man a stonking testimonial. Thanks for your service
and also
and all that.
Winston Reid will get injured a few times this season and miss your game here and there.
Yeah.
And certain games you need him. I think there's certain games you need James Collins for, where a game we can't afford to lose, or a game where or anything like that. Towards the end of the season, where we needed to get clean sheets and not concede, he was blinding for us. I reckon Font will go in January because I don't think he'll play as much.
No, he won't.
Because I think Declan Rice is someone I think Bilic really likes, and I think actually he's one of the because I think Bilic will try and push through.
And we've also got what's his face out on loan.
Oxford, yeah.
So
Burke's looking really good as well. I really like Reece Burke. I think Font will be flogged for £1 million in January, which I understand the signing at the time because Ogbonna was out injured and he's an experienced Premier League defender. I just think it just hasn't really worked out for him, unfortunately.
No, he's hitting the end of his sort of career, really.
Yeah,
isn't he?
Like I said, I think I understand this. I still understand why they signed him.
Yeah, I do as well. I agree with near enough everything you said. Shock horror. The only person I don't agree with is Carroll.
Yeah, so this is the thing you're going to hear a lot of this season, I think, because Andy has this weird.
I'm not weird.
Obscene hatred for Andy Carroll, which I still don't know an actual reason for. Every time I've asked you, you just go, "He's a prick." It's just that's not a reason. So, explain yourself.
My main reason is, for me, he's a liability. I think he costs an awful lot of money for very little play time. Now, I know the idea of a be paid idea is that gets rid of that problem, but I don't think he'll agree to that. I think what he thinks he can do and what his body will actually let him do are two different things. He costs a shitload of money, and it's a shitload of money that could be pumped in elsewhere, and he's got a shit haircut.
It's got a shit haircut. I think, especially when he braided it. Do you remember that? I think it was the season before last. We had the weird
8-year-old's my first holiday haircut.
Yeah, God, that was embarrassing. But then he ended up scoring 5 goals in 3 games, and I was like, oh, all right. This is the thing with Carroll. When every season's been the same. He'll come off. He'll walk off, and you'll hear, oh, he felt something. He felt something in his groin, or he felt something in his ankle. And you don't see him again for 4 months.
And then he'll turn up out of the blue, bang a couple, repeat.
Yeah, he'll come back for 2 months, think, oh, he's hitting form, this is it, and there he's gone.
Yeah. How much he cost us a week? $100,000.
About that, yeah. He's like third highest earner at the club.
Yeah, exactly. If we weren't paying that out for him, Hernandez's deal probably would have been done by now. I
think you've got to be realistic, though. I think I'd be very, very, very surprised if anyone will take him.
Yeah, no one would.
The wages he'll demand. So I think what we will probably end up doing is we'll just keep him until his contract runs out end of next season. Yeah. Which I'm happy with, because I think, like I said, I've always said, I'd much prefer him coming off the bench. I think off the bench he just offers us that something different, and I think having the versatility between Hernandez, I know he's good in the air, but like I've always said, Carroll's knockdown ability to supply someone who is in the 6-yard box and who will find space,
I would give you
he's going to be great.
You said that last night, and I agree with you.
And you know what? I think even if he's reduced to a bench player, he might not be happy about it. But like I said yesterday, sorry, but fuck him. How many chances has he had?
Yeah,
last season, Bilic put all of it, rightly or wrongly, Bilic put his faith in Carroll, and I think quite a few people did, because he did look he'd looked the fittest we'd ever seen him beginning of last season. And I know, okay, probably it's not his fault, but it proved that we can't trust him. He can't be relied on. We've now got our main striker now. That's it. He is our first team guaranteed striker, and and it might actually work to Carroll's benefit that he's not used as much. Maybe, that's the hope, because I think if he's happy with just being an impact player, then it could actually work out really well for us.
It's still a lot of money, though. It's a lot of money for a player that barely feature. If you want an impact player or someone who's a bit tall and can bring a ball down, fuck that. Go spend $1 million on Peter Crouch and have him sitting on the bench.
But this is the position. I mean, because if we try and terminate his contract, we still have to shed out money to pay him to go.
No, I get that.
So I think that's why I think it's just worth making the most of him while he's here for another couple of seasons and then just letting him go at the end of his contract.
Yeah.
Not ideal, but if we're going to sell players it's next season, I think a few players are going to go, and I think we'll be all right. And plus, with all the TV money coming in at the end of each season, we'll be all right for wages going forward.
Yeah, we'll be fine. I agree with you on everything else. Snodgrass needs to fuck off. I agree with you on Jose Font. He'll end up going by January if he don't go this window, which is there still could be a chance that he could disappear.
Yeah.
Who else did you say?
Sacco, Snodgrass.
Sacco definitely needs to go.
Yeah.
The only person that I would like to see not go, who I don't think has been given a fair chance at all, is Sofiane Feghouli.
Yeah, I completely agree. That
geezer is a phenomenal winger in the making, who's not been given a fair run.
I think he was made a little bit of a scapegoat last season, I'll
Massively.
be honest. Sort of how Nordveit was as well, if I'm being brutally honest. I think Nordveit, all right, this penalty at Spurs, it was a shit show. But, with Feghouli, when he came into the team around the Palace game and then he had that really good run in the team, and I didn't watch the Bournemouth game. Apparently, I know he got slated for the Bournemouth away game because he wasn't tracking back. But whenever I saw him play in the home games, I saw him come back quite a lot and help out in defence. And he's got a great cross in him. I mean,
he set up Lanzini today, actually.
Yeah. I think he's a player worth keeping. However, I think
he's not going to get in front of Antonio.
No, he's not. He's not.
But for a winger in cup games, or if Antonio gets injured, which has happened a couple of times now.
I think the question is though, does he get it? It's not. He doesn't get ahead of Antonio with Arnautovic coming in. Does he get ahead of? Does he get ahead of Ayew?
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. I think as an option on the bench, if Antonio is injured and you're starting Ayew, you've got him there.
Right. Bearing in mind that Arnautovic will be on the left, probably.
Yeah, but
if you're thinking Antonio's gone, I could play Ayew on the right, where he can play.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But you're saying if Antonio's injured, yeah. So you're saying your top three is then Hernandez in the middle, Arnautovic on the left, and Ayew on the right.
Yeah.
Feghouli on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, my only thing is that I think, and I can understand it from a financial point of view, though, is that he's one of the high earners, and if he's not playing, you've got. I know we've just made the same argument with Carroll, but we're in a position that we could sell Feghouli, and it looks like he is going to go. Like it looks like he's off to Galatasaray, which
they've had a touch.
I think it's a real shame. I really do. I really like the bloke, and I think a second season in the Premiership we would have seen a lot more of him, and that's someone I would like to see play through the middle. Actually,
with Feghouli.
Yeah, he was playing a lot more centrally in that Burnley game, the last game of the season. When he scored the goal, he was a bit more central, and he did a job. That's someone I think could flourish as an attacking mid rather than a winger in the Premiership.
Yeah, maybe. Sadly, we'll never see it.
Yeah, I think it's a real shame personally. That's one I really was really impressed with. Because I remember everyone was saying last season how poor he was, but the people forget he was injured for a lot of the start of the season, and then he wasn't really ever brought on off the bench until that sort of when Payet left.
Yeah.
Because before we got that fucking red card against Man United, there wasn't a red card. It was only 10 minutes, but he was up for it. He looked really good. He looked dangerous.
He was the sharpest player on the pitch, and that was never a red card.
No, fucking Mike.
Never.
Oh, Mike Dean. Oh, he's going to come quite a lot this season. I've got a feeling.
Fucking.
Feghouli. It's a shame. I mean, because I'm seeing conflicting reports saying that Bilic would like to keep him, but then I suppose it's whether Feghouli wants to be a bit part squad player.
Yeah, but if Feghouli strikes me as the kind of player where if he's slumped down to the bench, I think he'd fight for his place.
Yeah. And we did last season.
Yeah, and all he needs is one stonking game, just one, and I think he's got it in him.
Yeah. Like I said, my personally, I'd love to see him tried as a centre attacking mid if Lanzini's ever injured or whatever, but I don't think we're going to see that. I think he's gone. I think.
Yeah.
Which again, I mean, to be fair though, I think if Feghouli going is going to help, it's been a factor in the Hernandez signing, then.
Well, yeah, then it's been a touch.
I'd have to say yes. I'd have to say yeah. Sorry, bye. Because So talked a fair bit about West Ham in this first first episode, understandably, and we are going to cover them a lot obviously as the season goes on. Just because we're going to be, it's what we do. This is the club we support. We're going to talk about them. But I do want to, since we're talking about transfers, I do want to talk about what other teams in the league have been doing.
This is what I've been looking forward to.
Because this window's been very. I thought last season was mad for fees and players moving, but this season's sort of. I think the Pogba signing last season sort of set a benchmark now, and it's sort of gone. Oh, okay. Clubs can charge whatever they want for people.
Pogba set the benchmark, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. The 90 million deal was sort of like now it's like all the European clubs are going. Oh, okay. I'll see how much money you got. Let's see how much you can get. I mean, the key example being Bonucci. This is obviously away from Premier League. First of all, the fact Bonucci's gone to AC Milan for 35 million is ridiculous.
That's a stonking bit of business as well for only 35 million quid.
One of the best centre backs in Europe last season.
Considering Kyle fucking Walker was £50 million.
And we're gonna get on. A bit more context though. Bonucci cost AC Milan £15 million more than what Bournemouth paid for Nathan Ake.
Insane.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying Ake's a terrible player. But he's not 20 fucking million. No chance.
He's not Bonucci.
He's not. No, he's definitely not Bonucci.
No.
But the thing is, though, this is the thing. The point I was going to make is that I read somewhere that clubs have, like I said, European clubs have now cottoned on to the fact that they'll actually be happy to take less from another European, like an Italian or a Spanish or a German team. They'll be happy to take less from them for a player. As opposed to if a Premier League. So apparently they quoted Chelsea about 80 million for him.
No.
Because they knew they had the money.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, we're going to get. They can go, well, we're going to get at least 35, 40 million for him. But if Chelsea want him, and they're fucking minted, they're going to have to give us 80.
Insane.
Because they can afford it.
Makes sense. Supply and demand.
Yeah, exactly. And the game has gone a little bit mad. And the main one we've mentioned it enough times.
Well, the game's gone mad for the top flight teams anyway. Unless your name's West Ham and you're after a little player called Chicharito, and then it's a blinding bit of business, mate.
13 million supposedly, or even 20. Even 20's a fucking bargain. 20 million for Chicharito. Fuck, man, that's just. Oh, I'm so happy. That's made my week.
So what are we doing? We're going Premier League, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. So I'm going to make more of an effort this year to look at the foreign leagues, but it's mainly Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Champions League. If I'm being completely honest.
I'll tell you what. In fact, before we step on the Premier League, another good bit of business. PSG getting hold of Dani Alves on a free.
Yeah, well, this actually does kind of link into what we're about to talk about because City. It looked like City had him, which I think would have been a much better deal. I'm really surprised he chose. Well, I'm not because PSG are just as minted and they probably offered him more money.
You look at their back line as well. He'd be playing with three of his countrymen, wouldn't he? Thiago Silva and Marquinhos.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it's great. I think I just kind of thought, maybe you want to play with Guardiola again, but I suppose you're guaranteed silverware.
Oh yeah,
PSG.
you are, yeah.
Even if it's Liga, you're still guaranteed something.
Yeah,
whereas you're not really guaranteed it with Man City. But yeah, Kyle Walker.
Sorry. £50 million.
£50 million
for a defender that can't defend. Just doesn't enter in his equation of being a defender.
But in a way, though, it's kind of the perfect signing for a Pep Guardiola team. Because he doesn't give a shit about defending.
No. Right, which is really shitty for him in a league where you need defending.
Well, you look at how many goals they conceded last year. I know Bravo was a big part of that because he literally, I think he made like 2 saves last season.
Yeah, he forgot how to.
I'm not even. That's not me trying to be funny. I think he actually registered about 3 or 4 saves total last season.
Wow. I'd have done better.
Yeah. Like
Joe Hart would have done better.
Joe Hart definitely would have done better. He's ours now. I don't know, mate. 15 minutes. I mean, you think though, City are spending part of that backline has cost 100 million, and that 100 million has gone towards Kyle Walker and John Stones. And as an Englishman, I want John Stones to do well. But he's played for 2 managers now who don't give a shit about defending, Martinez and Guardiola.
Yeah.
So it's all well and good being a ball. Rio Ferdinand, right? Great ball playing centre half. But he went to Man United and Ferguson. I think Ferdinand said once he tried like a little flick or a little turn in his own box and he lost the ball and then he conceded. And apparently Ferguson pulled him up and went, if you ever do that again, like you're dropped.
Yeah, I'll pull you.
And yeah, and because he knew you defend first.
Yeah.
And then you can, get your defending right, learn how to make a tackle, get your positioning spot on, and then you can fucking play a ball.
Yeah. 50
million. 50 million quid for Kyle Walker. If Pep gets his system nailed on this season, I think it probably would be seen as a really good deal.
I think unless he completely changes the system again, City are going to hit the problem that Leicester hit, that teams are going to know, regardless of the player change, other teams are going to know what Pep is going to do. Brings in his two fullbacks to sort of make a makeshift defensive midfielders. So it's like rows of two and then backed out to a three. I mean, the only team that couldn't quite get their head around it last season was West Ham. Well,
do you remember what I was going to say when we went to the league game and we were sitting up above one of the goals?
Perfect view.
And it was the perfect view really. And I think for the whole game, obviously because by like half an hour down, going like 3-0 down, so the rest of the time we were just trying to figure out what the system was for the City were playing. Because I was just watching them thinking, so their centre backs are now full backs. They've only got one centre back, and it was just. It's really unconventional and really. But then, did he have the players to do that at Barcelona? The argument being is that he hasn't got the players for it to work at City at the moment.
But he's got the bank balance.
Yeah.
Get the players. You can't take that as an excuse when you're looking at one of the richest clubs in the world, can you?
No, I think you can in the first season. I think in the first. I mean, bear in mind he came in and he chucked out a lot of players straight away. Like Joe Hart, who was as part of the furniture. Do you know what I mean? He was sort of like cemented as the goalkeeper, number one goalkeeper, and then Pep comes in and goes, "No, you can't pass. See ya."
Yeah.
Nasri went, like a bunch of players. He just came in and went, you, gone, not good enough. I think at a certain point though, you have got to stop and be like, this is going to take a few seasons because you can't just overturn a whole team in your first season. To be fair to him, I think how many managers do that? But I think this season though, you think he's going after Mendy,
strut into a team and then win on the first season.
What's that?
Sorry, the question you said, you mean strut into a team and then win your first season?
No, I meant just like how many managers come in and change the entire first 11.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? Like, which is, I think he is going to have to do over time, I think, because, and you look at the fact he's bringing in, okay, we'll laugh about it because he is paying £50 million for a defender who can't defend. But we know that Pep's wing-backs aren't, that his wing-backs are basically wingers or wide midfielders. But he gets fullbacks to play that role, and I think if he has Walker and Mendy as opposed to Zabaleta and Clichy, then that offers something that it might. Do you think when he was at Barca he had what, Alves and Alba?
Alba, yeah.
And his three centre backs were PK, Mascherano. Was it two centre backs or three centre backs he had?
He played 4-4-2. Sorry, a 4-3-3.
Oh, he did, didn't he? Yeah. So yeah, he basically had two centre backs, and he had Busquets as the holding.
Yeah. Busquets would fall back when the wingers would come into the middle and his defenders would push out wide. I get the idea behind it, and the idea is really, really clever because the idea is to basically crowd out that midfield so you've got no option but play through the team. They nick the ball, attack, score. The idea is perfect. In the Spanish League, it works because the Spanish League is attack. I don't think it works in the Premier League unless you're Bournemouth.
I mean, you've seen Barca beat teams by playing that way, and you've also seen Premier League teams beat Barca when they try to play that way. But I think, I don't know. I think if given time, Pep could be onto something with them. But because he's got the front line for him, I think he's got the front line nailed on now. I think Sane, Aguero, and Jesus, and De Bruyne, and even Sterling to a point. So I think Sterling's actually improving each season. I think.
Yeah, he is.
Like maybe not for England, unfortunately, but I think for City, you're seeing his finishing's improving. I think his passing's improving.
His diving's improved.
Yeah, yeah, that'll happen under Guardiola, I imagine. But I think it's that back line. I think he needs to lock in, and I think Stones could be his PK, but I don't. He's too young. He's way too young.
Would you go Mendy and company, or Stones and company, or failing that, Otamendi and Stones.
Not Otamendi and Stones, not a chance. No, you need company in there. I think because he is. Because like Mascherano, I know Mascherano started from midfield. Mascherano sort of the slower. Go on, you're not getting past me. Sort of solid centre back, like a Vidic, if you like. So it's like, I mean, that's why you think Vidic and Ferdinand work so well together. One was ball playing centre half, one was a defensive centre half.
Hard as fuck, come through me kind of bloke.
The only difference is PK, because he was at Man United, and Ferdinand, because he was at Man United, knew how to defend as well. Stones doesn't.
I think Stones is a defensive midfielder in the making, personally.
Just about to say that. He's a midfielder. He's a midfielder playing centre back.
Yeah.
He's a midfielder playing centre back.
Just no one's grasped it yet. You'll get
basically,
eventually.
Yeah. And Otamendi, he's useless.
Yeah, he's a liability, isn't he?
I think Man United probably quite thankful now I didn't get him, but yeah, it's a weird one with City. I don't think they'll win the league this year.
No,
I don't. I think they're still, and they've just signed this new goalkeeper, and I mean anything's an upgrade on Bravo, but it's a goalkeeper from the Portuguese league. You don't know how it's going to turn out.
Exactly.
Playing for a team that are one of two teams in Portugal, Benfica, or one of three.
Then saying that, the Portuguese do push out good goalkeepers.
He's Brazilian, I believe.
But I mean, like the Portuguese league
push
out quite good goalkeepers. So it's not unheard of for them to have a stonking keeper. But But yeah, well, that's Man City's little shopping spree.
Do you think they'll get Mendy? Because apparently Monaco rejected. I think it's like.
No, yeah.
Well, no, that was it. Monaco said Monaco basically. I love Monaco. They basically said if you want him, you have to pay the same price you pay for Kyle Walker.
They will though.
Because they've just I know 100 million quid on fullbacks.
Yeah, so that's your answer. Yes, they'll get him.
Yeah. Failing that though, who's another option for him?
What, left back?
Yeah, or left wing back, I suppose.
Who's the geezer that plays left back for Juventus? The Brazilian bloke.
Sandro.
Yeah.
Alexandro. But apparently he's been linked with Chelsea. But Chelsea don't really need a left.
No, they got Alonso and Aspilicueta.
Yeah. But yeah, which I think City will do. They haven't really signed that many players. Well, no, actually, they got Bernardo Silva as well, haven't they? Forgot about that. They got their shit done early.
Yeah, they did. Give them that.
Yeah. I don't see where he fits into that team with De Bruyne and Aguero and Jesus and Sane and everything. But he is a good player, so I think he'll do bits for him. I mean, they'll be top four.
I think he's been brought in the frame of mind of replacing Aguero at some point.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Because he's getting on a bit, and he's like, what, 28, 29, Aguero? And he's injury prone, so...
Yeah.
It's a shame, because he's the best striker in the league.
Oh, Aguero?
Yeah, he's the best striker in the league.
It was Costa. In terms of goal scoring. For me, like, Costa and Aguero are at level.
Like, yeah, that's fair. That's a fair shout.
Just Costa's a bit of a prick.
And speaking of, Chelsea. It's a weird one with Chelsea, I think, because they haven't really done an awful lot in the window.
It's because everyone they wanted, they've left too late.
Well, I say they haven't done a lot of business. They have just about to sign Arata for 60 million.
It's more than that.
66, 68 million?
More than that. Add an extra 20
Are you shitting me?
No, add an extra 20 million onto that and then you're close.
Are you sure you're not thinking of euros?
Even euros, pounds, it's still way loads.
I'm sure it's around 6. I think it was 80. They bid 80 for Higuain, but I think Morata's around 60 million.
88 million they bid for Higuain, and Juventus told them to go suck one.
Do you think? I mean, it's a weird one with Chelsea, I think, because this is reminding me a little bit of the season that Mourinho got sacked, because they didn't do an awful lot of business that season, and it all fell apart.
Yeah.
Not saying the same happened under Conte, but
the scenes if it did though.
It would be hilarious. I like Conte. I've got to be honest. It was funny with Mourinho because I don't like the bloke, and it was funny just watching him
crumble
age each week and becoming more and more miserable and just cracking. It's like a Breaking Bad, where Walter White sort of becomes more and more unhinged with each season. It's like that with Mourinho, just thinking, "Oh, this is glorious. This is fantastic." But yeah, I think with Chelsea, you look at any team that doesn't really strengthen after winning a title. It rarely results in them doing it again.
Mm.
And I think Morata, all right. I mean, I don't know, man. I think he had from what I remember, he did all right at Juventus.
He did exceptionally well at Juventus.
Yeah,
but
and I think
Madrid, he needs to get in front of a geezer that can play both left wing and striker and make it look like a piece of piss.
That's before you get to Benzema as well.
And
Bale.
Who can also play striker. You're never going to get in front of them.
Yeah,
Never.
I mean, the only reason they bought him back, they had the buyback clause, so they could bring him in and then try and sell him on for more profit. That's the only reason why they brought him back to Madrid.
Yeah.
He's a mug for going back there, personally. He could have easily gone, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
But he's an idiot. But I think Bakayoko is a really good signing for him. I think Bakayoko and Kante are going to be the best centre mid partnership in the league next year.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's like having two Kantes, I think. So I think Bakayoko is a fantastic centre midfield player.
I think the problem with Chelsea, for me, is what I said to you the other day, is that you look at clubs like Manchester United, Man City to a point, I guess, because of the amount of money they've got. But you look at clubs like that, and when players get linked with them, 9 times out of 10, they get the players they want. Yeah, so when Di Maria went to Man United, Lukaku now, Ibrahimovic, who is fucking stonking. Even at 35, he's ridiculous. I think Chelsea suffer from a small man syndrome kind of thing, whereas they've got bank. No one's denying that. They are fucking loaded. But in the eyes of your exceptional football player, they're not actually that big of a club.
And then they're not. Let's just face facts. They're not.
All you got to do is look at what Lukaku said when he signed for United, and bearing in mind he was linked with Chelsea at the same time. I'm playing for the biggest club in the world.
Do you think it's more of a case Chelsea will attract players who are more money motivated?
Yes.
Whereas Man United will attract players who want to reach the top, who want to reach the absolute top of their career.
Because of the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Yeah. I think that's very fair to say. I think that, like I said, I mean, you look at the players that Chelsea have signed over the years, and your Hazards, who made a very big deal about, I'm going to do this big reveal for... Hazard strikes me as someone who's very money driven and will just go to whoever pays the most. I think Costa's the same. I think most of their squad, with the exception of maybe Kante and Kay, not all their players.
I think Kante,
but they're superstars.
I think Kante was even money orientated, to be honest.
No, I think that was just a good fit. I think for what the role he was going to play in that Chelsea team and in what Conte wanted to do, I think that was just a good fit. To be honest, I think.
Would he have gone to Chelsea earning the same amount of money you did for Leicester? If it was a good fit. But yeah, if Man United then turned around and went, we'll match your wages at Leicester, do you want to play for us? I would wager my house that he would go to United over Chelsea.
It's a fair argument. It is a fair argument. I mean, obviously I don't know because I'm not. Obviously, we don't know because we're not the player. But I do see what you mean. There's just so much. There's something about playing for Manchester United than there is. I mean, if it was me, if I was like a professional footballer who's being touted by his big clubs, I would rather play for Manchester United. It's almost seen as I know they're on hard times in the post Ferguson era, but I mean that ain't gonna last very long. I don't think under Mourinho. As much as I don't like the bloke, he will get the job done, and I think even if he is there for more than 3 seasons, he will get them back to being title winners again. And I think people see that. I think that's why Ibrahimovic went there. I think that's why Mkhitaryan went there, and this is when they went in the Champions League.
It's the shirt, mate. It's the shirt and the history.
Yeah, because United won the Champions League when Di Maria signed for him? I don't think. I'm pretty sure they weren't.
No, they weren't. I don't.
Because it was Van Gaal. It was Van Gaal, and they obviously finished 7th after Moyes. So.
Yeah. So no, they weren't.
Whereas you think, would someone go to Chelsea? Well, who did Chelsea bring in when they went in the Champions League? They signed Kante, and they signed Marcos Alonso. and David Luiz, who has history with the club. So yeah, I think there's definitely substance in that. I think that
if it was for the shirt, Aubameyang would be a Chelsea player right now.
True. It's very true.
Right.
But then saying that, the advantage they have got is, like I said, the players, the other bracket of world class players who are money driven, they're players they can bring in. Whether if it is for a couple of seasons and then move on, it will get the job done for them for a couple of years. Which I think Chelsea fans, don't want to speak for them, but I'm pretty sure a title every 3 seasons and your cup run they'd be happy with.
Yeah.
Regular Champions League.
To an extent, you could understand why they'd be happy with that, but that's why Man United are Man United and Chelsea are Chelsea in my eyes.
Yeah.
Speaking of Man United, Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah. Romelu Lukaku, West Ham's fucking greatest enemy of the last few years. I don't think 75 million's that bad of a deal, if I'm being completely honest. I'm guessing you don't agree.
Are you fucking sure?
Hear me out.
Oh, go on.
I think because the bloke is still only 23, 24 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in this day and age, I think 75 million for a striker who's 24 years old and has consistently scored in the Premiership, and he's scoring more and more each season.
Yeah.
So you've got it. So season 1, 17, then 20, then 23, 24 goals season. He's showing very obvious progression, and I think whilst it's a lot of money now, in the long run, if Lukaku's there for another 5 seasons or 6, 7 seasons, in that time United are back in the Champions League, they've won another 3 or 4 league titles, and he's consistently up there with the top goal scorer charts, the money will be reinvested by them.
Okay, if I was Manchester United's manager, so I am Jose Mourinho.
See you later.
I would tell you the striker that I would buy, because I think he does it against more teams. He scored more goals than him, and he's not what people thought. I'm wondering if you're going to know who I'm going to say here.
I think I know who you're going to say.
Yeah, Harry Kane.
Yeah.
In a flash. I think Lukaku's weakness is that he can bang goals against teams that are of lower calibre. Your West Hams, your fucking your bottom 3 teams and shit like that. But you stick him up against someone like Arsenal, can't do it. Gets played out of the game. Whereas Harry Kane, he might not be able to talk that well, but he can score shit load of goals.
Did you see that thing on Twitter the other day?
Yes.
With the fucking name me something Harry Kane can't do. Talk. I think 10 minutes I was laughing for reading that. It was fucking hysterical. Well done, that man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to look at. I think as well, you've got to look at that Harry Kane's English. That'll automatically add another 40 million onto his value, and
paid 100 million.
And he didn't want, and yeah, but I don't know. I think it's going to be brilliant for you. I think it's going to work out for United. I honestly do. I agree with what you said about he doesn't turn up in the bigger games, but I think it's difficult to.
United this year are going to have a lot of big games. Champions League,
of course.
FA Cup, Premier League.
But I do think as well, though. I think that. I don't know if he's going to have. I know obviously the price tag's going to add pressure to him, but I don't think it's going to be the same amount of pressure as you're literally our best player. Like when he's at Everton, so you are literally our best player. If you don't turn up, we don't win.
Yeah.
Whereas he's arguably not the sole number 1 best player in that team. He's surrounded by other players of very similar quality.
Who would you say is United's best player?
Probably say on his day, I'd probably say Mkhitaryan.
I know who I'd pick. Goalkeeper.
De Gea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's United's best player.
Yeah. I think on his day, I think Mkhitaryan will end up being their best player.
Yeah.
I think he's phenomenal.
No doubt.
I think Pogba could turn into be their best player. Jury's well out on him still, but Yeah, like we'll have to wait and see. And I think but he's working under with a coach like Mourinho, and I think he is someone who could get the best out of him. Like with Lukaku, which I know he did cast him off when he was at Chelsea, but Lukaku's the real deal now, and he wasn't back then. He had one good loan spell at West Brom. But yeah, I just think. I think he'll adapt, and he's around players who regularly play in big games, and I think that will be a big help for him as well.
True.
Whereas again, do you know what I mean? Whereas Everton, he wasn't surrounded by those players. It was literally all on his shoulders. Where he's now, that responsibility can be shared around with like Mkhitaryan, with Martial, with Rashford, with Mata, with Pogba and all those sort of people who sort of do those big games regularly. And I like I said, maybe not this season, but I reckon it will be a really good deal for United going forward. And I think for replacing someone like Zlatan with a 24-year-old
who could still come back.
Yeah. Who could still come back, absolutely. With a 24-year-old who is banging goals in fairly regularly for a decent Everton side, I think it's going to work really well for him. I can see him challenging this year. I think they need a couple more players, but I can see him challenging.
That was going to be my next question, actually. If you were the manager of Manchester United, who else would you bring in?
Well, he's brought in the new centre back, which I think is good because I really like Eric Bailly. I think he's
Lindelof, isn't it?
Lindelof, the Swedish bloke.
Yeah. Goodbye, Chris Smalling.
Yeah, we've been with him. I wouldn't take him though because I like our centre backs. I like Rignock Bonner. But anyway, I think. Oh, who do they need? I
know who I'd pick.
They need to figure out what the fuck's going on with Martial. That's one of the main things. They need to figure out what they want to do with him.
I think you'd get rid of him.
What, for Perisic?
No, I wouldn't get him neither.
Who would you get?
Because you're talking about Manchester United here, I'd go for Neymar.
No chance. Absolutely no chance. Like I don't. I know United are rich and they're a huge club. I don't think they've got 200 million to spend on a player.
I reckon they have. If PSG have got 200 million to bang out on Neymar, which could happen, United have got it.
United had all the debt problems with the Glazers when they came in. Like I don't think they're as financially. I know they obviously are spending 90 million and 70 million on players, but like
table come out the other week that says different, mate.
Really?
They are the richest club on the planet now. They've overtaken Madrid.
Oh, I have. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, well.
Look at the left wingers that United have had in the past. Obviously, you're talking about Ronaldo for a start, Ryan Giggs.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that those two had in common was blistering pace.
Do you not think Martial could reach that level, though? Not Ronaldo's level, but do you not think Martial could get to, let's say, a player who people would say similar to Thierry Henry?
No.
Or do you think he's a striker, or do you think he just won't be that good?
I don't think he's good enough for a Manchester United team.
Right, because my only thing is he's still young. He is still young. He's not like 20. He's like what 19? No, he's like 20.
Yeah,
21.
I just don't think he's good enough. If you're talking about an exceptional player at the age of 19 or 20, they're already doing it. They're already doing it at that age. Messi, Neymar, and you're talking greats, so you bring great names in. Like Bale was doing it. Giggs was doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Martial's good enough. I don't. And I think Mourinho knows it, and that's why you don't see him as much. Yeah.
I'd like to think Martial is... I really like Martial. I think he's a great player, but I think... I think he has this problem with players that... Fast strikers in the modern game, that you have a really quick, fast striker who's good with the ball. Oh, we'll stick him out wide. And it's happening to Rashford a little bit, and it pisses me off because he's a striker.
But he's a striker, I agree. But if you stick Rashford out on the wing, you still get a game out of him. True,
but I don't know. I don't agree with it personally. I think play people where they should play.
I think. No.
Admittedly, it all stems back from the Euros when fucking Hodgson was sticking Vardy out on the wing, and it just that sort of encapsulates that modern attitude to fast strikers.
I think,
in my opinion,
Martial would be better suited to a team like Arsenal.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you stick him in an Arsenal squad, he becomes a different player.
What about for United, Mbappe?
It's a striker, though, isn't he?
I know it's going to sound like a contradiction, but he can. One of his positions, he can play as a winger. Like he can play either or.
I think no. I'd take Griezmann instead if we're going down that logic.
Oh, I think they were going to get him as well. I think that was going to happen until the transfer embargo happened.
Yeah, he can play 5 different positions.
Yeah,
and do it well. He can play right across your attacking front three, and he can play as a centre mid and an attacking centre mid. That's versatility at its best.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, seriously, I don't really know. I said I think United need a couple more signings. I think they could probably strengthen their fullbacks. I mean, Valencia is good, and I think Luke Shaw was looking really good before he got that injury a couple of seasons ago.
Which was an awful injury as well.
And it's a real shame because I think if that happened, he'd be their cemented left back. But
yeah, he'd be England's left back as well. It wouldn't be Danny Rose.
Yeah, it's a difficult. No, fuck that. I think it's difficult with United because I don't know. So I say I think they need a couple more players. I just don't know what players.
I'd chop Fellaini out for Matic, and I'd have Matic and Pogba sitting at the back.
And let Pogba go forward, you mean? And let Match... Yeah, I agree.
And even though he's gone to Bayern Munich now, I would have got Rodriguez to play on that tip as that attacking midfielder.
Yeah, I do like Rodriguez.
You'd look at that squad and think, nah, fuck that.
I've always thought... I mean, it will never leave him, but I've always thought Muller would be a really good United player.
They're having an R about it, aren't they? Because they've just got hold of Rodriguez. And that's position.
I know. I think it's linked to him quite a lot. So it's sort of like one of them. Like he always seems to get linked, but I do think he would be a good one. And to be fair, I think what's good for him now is that Rooney's gone because they haven't got to have this thing of we have to play him because he's Wayne Rooney. Not that Mourinho's ever really subscribed to that, but
pulled him straight out. Yeah,
good. Someone had to. Yeah. I mean, my thoughts on Rooney. I think he's just not the player. He peaked about 5 years ago.
I think everyone's got that. They've got them thoughts on Wayne Rooney. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and not taking anything away from what he's achieved or the player he was. No, he's England and United's all-time leading goal scorer. Like you don't turn your nose up at that. The bloke is a legend, but he peaked. He's like a 40-year-old playing a 35-year-old's body at the moment, or 32, however old he is.
Yeah.
So
that brings us on to the next club actually. Everton, they are the biggest spenders in the Premier League, aren't they?
They are. Oh, they're up there. At least they're up there. Yeah. If they're not the biggest spenders, they've signed the most players.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously they signed Rooney. It's understandable. I don't think it's a great signing. I don't think there's much else that needs to be said about it, to be honest.
It's a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
Do you know, when we bought back Joe Cole?
Yeah.
I was chuffed to bits when we bought back Joe Cole because I love the bloke, but it wasn't like... If it was the exact same player who wasn't Joe Cole, I'd be going, "What are we doing?" Do you know what I mean? Like it's just a nostalgia thing. It's like I honestly, if he never played a single minute of the season, and we just brought him back for sheer nostalgia, I'd be chuffed with White Carlton Cole.
Yeah.
Just for the nostalgia. Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing.
Just to come out and wave at everyone.
Just to be like, there he is, love you. But I think it's a weird one with Everton because I think they have done well, and they've sucked up and paid the money for the players they want, which I think in this day and age you do have to do. I think Michael Keane's a cracking centre back. I think that's a great signing for him.
Yep, goodbye Burnley.
With Jackie Elker on his way out in terms of his career, I think that's a perfect replacement for him.
Made sense. And he's definitely going to make the England squad at some point as well.
Oh, I think he's great. I think he should be one of our starting centre backs. I think he's fantastic. I think he should partner Cahill if he's going to be the one that gets picked all the time.
Yeah. Pickford, for me, jury's out. I think it'd be interesting to see what he's like this year with a half-decent defence in front of him.
Yeah. I mean, you can make the case that he had a good season for the team that did finish bottom. I mean, like you watched, whenever you watch Sunderland match today, you would still see about 3 or 4 blinding saves in a game from him, but he had that shambles to deal with. So, but I think, again, a couple of years, that'll be a really good signing for him.
He's England's number one in the making, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think he's behind Butland. That's the only problem.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Butland's phenomenal.
But I mean, I've got to say it now because he's one of us. But Joe Hart for me is England's number one. But Butland is a very close second.
I mean, down the years, 6-7 years down the line.
Yeah. Well, I think even in a few years, once Joe Hart, I mean, cause Hart's like 30 odd now, so I think once in about 5 years when he hangs his gloves up, it's going to be between Butland and Pickford. It's going to be like a straight battle between them two.
Yeah.
Which is good for us, I suppose. It's 2 really good goalkeepers. Who else they brought in then? So it's
I
Keane,
couldn't tell you.
Pickford, Sandro from Malaga for like 5 million, which he scored. He's ex-Barcelona prospect, scored about 15 goals last season, and for 5 million, it's pretty much risk-free. But all I'm saying is, you've seen players coming from La Liga and flop.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Roberto Soldado.
Oh shit! Shots
Yeah,
fired.
well, yeah, but like he came with a really good goal scoring record, and everyone was like, oh, he was like Valencia's top scorer for like 3 seasons. Came for Spurs, and he was fucking useless.
Yeah, he was. He was guff.
So it could go the same way for Sandro. So, I'm not as convinced that it's a guarantee that he's going to be great. He could well be.
Yeah.
But you never know. That's my one thing with Everton's transfer business. They have signed a lot of players from abroad who there
Have they
are
got
no
Europe
guarantees.
this season? Are they in Europe this season?
I don't think so. They might have stuck into Europa. I can't remember where they finished. Alright, so I mean, I'm trying. Really, the only other teams in the league, I suppose, really worth talking about in terms of transfers, I suppose, would be the other Merseyside club in Liverpool, who haven't really done that much,
Arsenal
and Spurs, I suppose, who again,
and Arsenal.
and oh yeah, of course, Arsenal as well.
But I would say it's more with Arsenal. It's more a question of contracts with a specific.
Yes, yeah, that is actually very true. All right, well, let's start with Arsenal then, because they obviously had their worst season in about 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
By not finishing the top 4 last season, which I think personally for me was a bit long overdue. I think,
Definitely.
And I think Wenger staying on for another 2 years isn't going to make things any better. And I mean, Lacazette's a fantastic signing for him. I think potentially, there's no guarantee. He's not playing the Premier League. So there's no obviously real guarantee that he's going to
set the world on fire. But
yeah, but you would put. You'd like to think he would. Like, he seems to have all the attributes to be a top striker in the Premiership.
Yeah.
But really for them, I mean, again though, it's not. In terms of players coming in to that club, I don't think it's really solves all their problems. Still, because I still think they're weak in the midfield. I don't think Coquelin and Ramsey or. They need a Cazorla replacement, because if it's true that Cazorla's out again for the rest of this season as well, that's a big problem. Because without him, that's a big part of how they play just completely taken out.
Well, they need Ozil to re-sign, didn't they?
Well, they need Ozil to re-sign. They need Sanchez to re-sign, re-sign, like sign a contract. I mean, but which I think Ozil has a better chance of than Sanchez. I think Sanchez is going. I think
he's gone.
If they let him leave on a free, that's and not only financially is that just a terrible thing to happen for them, but they have no control over who he goes to if they leave on a free. At least if they sell him, they can try and get him out to like PSG or a European team rather than selling him to a divisional rival.
Yeah.
Which it's not like before where they were building a stadium and had to sell players no matter who. Like when Van Persie went, they had to get rid, and United were the only ones who was the realistic option. I think now they've got a bit more say in who they can sell him to, but you let him leave on a free, he can join whoever the hell he wants.
Yeah, and let's face it, it's more than likely going to be City if he goes on a free, which is deep for Sterling. But fuck him.
Yeah, and basically, because Sanchez is miles ahead of him at the moment. I think. But yeah, I can't see Arsenal. I don't think signing Lacazette is guaranteed Arsenal anything for next year. I think the Europa League is going to be a hindrance for them. If they focus on they need to do I think what Man United did last season, which is almost sack the top 4 off and focus on winning that Europa League so they get into the Champions League again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I think for me, Ozil will sign a new contract because who else is going to have him? Lacazette's an okay signing.
For now, I think we won't know how good that signing is until January or end of the season.
He was stonking for Lyon, but at the end of the day, he was playing in a shit league.
Yeah.
And if he was that good in the French league, PSG would have had him. And if he was that good, he'd be waltzing into the French team.
He's behind Giroud.
Yeah.
In the French team, which
speaks volumes.
Like, not saying Giroud's world class. Like, I think he's good. He's not. He's not. He's not going to be joining Real Madrid anytime soon. But
No.
but but yeah, I think Arsenal they need at least like 3 or 4 more signings to even get close to being able to compete again. Like they're not going to compete for a while.
If they lose Sanchez, they're fucked.
Yeah, because who can they attract to replace him?
No one.
I mean, there's that Thomas Lamar.
He's good, but he ain't great.
Yeah. Well, he's young as well. He's not a finished product like Sanchez is. Like with Sanchez, you knew what you were getting. Lamar, you're getting a prospect.
Maybe Martial because of the French link.
Mahrez. I'm not saying he's a replace, but I mean it's an option.
It's right hand side though, isn't it? Not the left.
Yeah, no, that's true. I'd have Mahrez over Walcott though any day of the week. Oh, plus it looks like they could be using Chamberlain as well. Apparently doesn't want to sign a contract.
He won't go.
Do you not reckon?
Nah, they'll offer him the money.
Yeah, that'd be a loss for him because I think he's a player I'd like at West Ham. I think he's fantastic.
What, he goes to Liverpool and then has to watch Salah play every week?
Yeah, unless Coutinho goes, he plays as a cam.
Maybe. Yeah.
Which he has done. So, but yeah, Arsenal. I mean, to be honest, if they might surprise me, but it's all for me. I don't think it's even really worth talking about. I think they're going to do that little in the league.
I think they'll get 4th.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think they'll just scrape it.
Well, it all depends, really. I suppose. Well, yeah, because they're not the only North London team that I think are going to struggle next season.
Go on. Do it.
I'm not like obviously everyone's going to look at this and be like, oh, you're obviously a West Ham fan, you hate Tottenham, and that is all true. That's all very much true. But I think Tottenham are going to really struggle next season.
Same. Yeah.
Because we've seen it firsthand. I know we said at the beginning when we spoke about last season with West Ham that the stadium isn't really an excuse, but it obviously plays some form part of why we're so bad.
That's the only excuse that Spurs can pull out for that shit show of Champions League qualifying.
Exactly. And the Europa League. Genk. I know, again, we lost to Astra, so it's pot kettle, but like...
We don't have the calibre of players that Spurs
have. Spurs are a much better team than us. There's no getting away from that. Like, and they should be beat. The team that I watched that game, that second leg, the team they had out, it was their first team. It was their starting 11.
Was that the game where Ali near enough broke that geezer's leg?
Yeah, and somehow didn't get sent off.
Yeah. No, he did. He copped a red for that.
Oh, he did. Yeah, of course he did. Sorry. Yeah, I'm thinking of another game where he should have got sent off, but didn't. But yeah, and you think you've got that for the whole season, and they're going to go into that knowing how badly they performed at that ground in the Champions League, and they've got to do that in every competition this season.
90,000 people watching them every other week. Sorry, 93,000. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think Spurs will do top 4 this year.
7th.
Yeah, I said 5th. I reckon 5th or 6th, but I reckon
I think 7th. I think they'll struggle to get Europa League. They'll do nothing in the Champions League.
And the thing is, I said this about Chelsea earlier, and it's more so for Spurs because they've come close 2 seasons in a row. So they've had a serious title challenge 2 seasons in a row, and they've just fallen short.
Sorry.
And they which is hilarious, but they're not strengthening.
No, they haven't
signed anyone.
They haven't this year yet.
Which, I mean, I've seen Spurs fans on Twitter moaning about the fact we're signing Hernandez and they didn't go for him.
But
what happens if,
I guess from a striker's point of view, they don't need to. They've got Harry Kane. And then
what happens if he gets injured?
Son. He did it.
Did he play as a striker for them last year?
They chose him over Janssen.
Oh, fucking hell.
I can't believe I'm arguing for Tottenham here.
Yeah, well, it's good to be balanced, I suppose. We'll cop less flack for it, but I think, it's honestly me not being anti-Spurs or anything like that. I think with all the evidence, I think the evidence is there. Unless they've got that out of their system over the summer, which they need to play a lot of fucking friendlies there for that to happen. I think, but I don't see it myself, and really. They're down a right back now as well. I know Trippier is a really good replacement for Walker.
They're they're down what I would say is a very good attacking right back.
Yeah. Well, I think Trippier's great. Where I think Trippier's better defensively than going forward.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean. If you mould those two together, you'd have a perfect right back. But they don't really seem to be attracting anyone. I mean, there's talk about Barkley, but he's such a typical Spurs signing, I think, where he'll sort of come and just not do anything. He won't. Why would you want Barkley if you've got Christian Eriksen?
Exactly.
Who is a much better player. I don't think Spurs need that many first team players. I think they just need some squad players to help. Yeah, because past that starting 11, what have you got? And you're not. No team's guaranteed to be injury free for a whole season. With
my neutral head on, looking at that Spurs team, there isn't anybody that I would want to kick out or sit there and think they need replacement.
Yeah, but if they have an injury hit season this year, and it could, any teams, susceptible to that. It could happen to any team. If they have a really dodgy luck with injuries, they're fucked.
Yeah, massively.
Like Kane dropped out of the team for a few weeks, 6 weeks last season. I know Son stepped in and did a job, but not to the level that Kane can give you.
No, exactly. I mean, the geezer was out for 6 weeks and still won the Golden Boot. So.
Yeah, that tells you all you need to know, really. I mean,
it only takes one bad injury to knock him out for 3 or 4 months for them to be royally screwed. I wouldn't wish that on the bloke.
No.
I don't like him when he's got an England top on him, but I wouldn't wish it on him.
Yeah, that's a conversation of there, I think. But I think for me, obviously, from an England standpoint, I want him fit and I want him doing well because you'd like to think he will replicate his club form for the country at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I know we're going to butt heads over that in the future. That's going to be I think that's a podcast.
I'm only laughing because he won't. So
yeah, but I think Spurs are going to really, maybe not really struggle. Maybe playing a little bit, but I don't think personally they're going to do top 4. I'll be surprised.
I think 7th. Personally, yeah.
Yeah, I mean we may look silly at the end of the season with that prediction, but I think we've got good reason to make that call.
Yeah.
We're not the only ones. I don't think we're the only people who can see that possibly. If I was a Spurs fan and going into this season playing the whole season at Wembley, I'd be a bit worried.
I'd be worried as well. I'd be massively worried.
And history shows any team moves to a new stadium, they do struggle. It happened with City, it happened with Arsenal, it's happened with us. It's going to happen and that's not even their new stadium for life. It's theirs for a season.
Well,
so you've really got.
I'll ask this again in the next couple of weeks as the transfer window's closing. But look, if the transfer window closed now, what would be your top 4?
My top 4 would be. I have absolutely no fucking idea who's going to win the league. All right. Well, in terms of not standing orders, because I don't know who's going to win the league, but I think top 4 this year will be Man United, Chelsea, City, and I think Liverpool will pick 4th.
In no particular order, is that, or is that how you would see it?
In no particular order, I think Liverpool will finish 4th, but that top 3, I don't know who will win the league out of United, City, and Chelsea.
Interesting.
I think Liverpool will just about get 4th, though. I don't think Arsenal will get it. I think Liverpool, just because Klopp's a better manager than Wenger is, I think he'd have enough to get him there. I mean, I know he's got Champions League to balance with this year as well, and they need. I mean, we'll talk about them in a second. But they need signings desperately, I think. But yeah, I can't see Spurs doing it. And only way I can see Spurs doing it if they get knocked out of the Champions League, but knocked out, not third. They finish bottom of the group, and then they've got the rest of the league to focus on.
Yeah.
Only then can I maybe see them scraping it. But I honestly think they're going to have an average season this year.
I'll put places on it. I'll stick my neck out now, but we'll revisit this from 20th to 1st.
Yeah.
But first place for me, Man United, because Mourinho's record for second season at any club is fucking phenomenal.
It's a good shout. It's a very good shout.
Second, I'm going to throw a curveball in here. Liverpool. Third, I'm swayed. For me, it's either Man City or Chelsea. But either one.
Yeah, I haven't even thought about who could win the league yet, just because I I generally don't know. I think United's a good shout because of the Mourinho second season thing. But you got maybe Pep's going to his second season. Maybe it's clicked now. Maybe for him, and I think if City click under Pep, then they're just as much favourites as anyone else. Because once they get going under him, it's a scary prospect. But that might not even happen. So it's tough to call. It's an interesting one. I think you said about Liverpool finish second though. At the moment, I'm not sure because I don't think they've done enough to strengthen because there was obvious weaknesses in that team last year, and I think Salah. Well, just quickly on a different note, actually, there's a thing today about African Cup of Nations.
Yeah, being done in the summer.
Which is that's one of the best pieces of news I've heard, apart from Hernandez this week, because I'm sick of losing Chiarte for about 6 months, every couple of years. But for them, I know it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen this year, but they now haven't got to worry about losing Mane, who is their best player or one of their most important players for how they play.
Yeah.
I think Salah's a good one to bring in because it takes the pressure off Mane a bit more. Like, if he can't play, you've got Salah, who is just as quick, just as good with his feet.
You can also chop Salah over to the left and have Coutinho playing through the middle.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Obviously, there's been that Barcelona bid for Coutinho. I reckon he'll end up staying. Like, unless he desperately wants to go, then he'll go. But if he's happy at Liverpool, there's no need to sell.
It's not every day you have the capability to turn down Barcelona, though, is it?
Yeah, that is the thing, and I don't know. It all depends on what happens at Barcelona with this whole Neymar situation, I think. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But let's say Liverpool keep Coutinho, and they've got Firmino's decent, but I think they need a proper striker.
Yes, they do.
Because Firmino's more of a false nine. Do you know what I mean? He's not an out and out. He's like a
who? Sorry.
Firmino. Like, I don't see him as a striker. I see him as a sort of false nine.
Centre forward.
Yeah, basically. Sturridge you can't rely on.
No.
You just can't. Origi's okay, but
he's been loaned out now, hasn't he? Has he been loaned?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought he might have done.
But he'd be our... I mean, I think Origi's good, but I think he could easily... Also, if he was in our team, he'd be our starting striker. Like, I don't think he's that level. He's good, but... Solanke, I mean, he's a young... He's just won the, obviously, under-19s or under-20s World Cup with England. So, like, great. It's a great achievement for him, and he was top goal scorer, but...
He won't get looking.
He might get game time. He's not going to be there starting striker. He'll probably be like a bench player.
He'll get game time like third round FA Cup.
Yeah, and like in between Champions League games probably. Yeah. Like, but they really need a striker. Like that's the main position, and they've just lost Lucas. Like, I know he's not saying he's a loss, but they could do replacing him to get a centre midfield, like a defensive mid in, I think, and just some new defenders. They need a new left back. Desperately need a new left back.
Massively.
Because like Milner's done all right there, but it's sort of Antonio Mark II when he happened with us. Do you know what I mean? Like, Antonio did a job at right back for us, and then
he seems like he likes playing that position though.
I just don't think it works.
It's not suited for him, but he seems like he's there.
Square pegs round holes, mate. Like,
I think Milner is one of those geezers that he'll just play football. Like you could put him in goal and he'd be happy. Like,
and I respect that about him. I think that if I said it about Spurs, if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be concerned that we've only signed 2 players so far. Only one of them is a starting 11 player. I think that, like I said, a new left back is an absolute must. Probably a new centre back, arguably as well.
2.
Because I think 2. I like Matip. I don't like Lovren. I don't like Klavan, and Sacco's not going to play.
Lovren is shit.
Lovren is shocking. But I really like Matip. I think he's good. But they need at least 2 centre backs.
Yeah.
But they're sort of. It seems like they're doing what we did last year. They're sort of putting all their eggs in one basket in this Cater bloke from Leipzig and bidding like 70 million for him.
It's and a goalkeeper.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, fucking absolutely, I need a goal. I mean, Mignolet was good towards the end of the last season. To be fair to him, I think him being dropped for Karius kind of helped him, but it's not going to last because he's not. He's a calamity basically. Liverpool's a weird one with them. I think that they are a couple of signings. They could probably quite comfortably get top 4, but I think they're going to scrap it.
for me, it's that Klopp effect. It wouldn't surprise me if they got second.
This is that's their saving grace, is they've got someone like Klopp who is a fantastic manager. Like,
bleeds football, like
yeah.
But
they are Liverpool, and I think that if they can avoid hitting that normal patch they normally have, where they just go on a run of not winning games for like 6 games. Because it happens to them in January, they probably would have been title contenders, but they had that really shit awful run when Mane went to the African Cup of Nations, and he lost like 5 games on the spin.
Yeah.
And it cost them. Like, but I definitely think that. I think they'll make top 4. I think how Arsenal and Spurs, they've got the better chance. And it'd be interesting to see them in the Champions League.
Out of them 3?
Mm.
Yeah, I guess so.
Bear in mind, I'm saying that City, Chelsea, and United will get will be in the top 3. I think 4th place will be a battle between Spurs, Liverpool, and Arsenal. And I think Liverpool will just about pip it.
Fair. It wouldn't surprise me if it was Arsenal, but I would agree with you. Like,
yeah.
Well,
it wouldn't surprise me, Arsenal. Unless they really just decide to bin the Europa League and go fuck it.
I'm saying Liverpool second, but I'll probably end up changing my mind on that when we get to the end of the transfer window in a couple of weeks. I don't know what I was thinking.
I think that's the best time to judge it. Look at the end of the transfer window, and that's when you can really go, okay, this is what each team's working with, and then you can figure it out.
One more question on positioning guesses and shit like that. West Ham, you know who we're going to sign. Well, odds on to sign. Don't go with your heart. Go with your head.
No.
Where would you expect us to finish?
So, am I basing this off if the players that the 2 players? So, if Arnautovic and Endo sign, and then that's it, we don't sign anyone else.
Yes.
Where are we going to sign? Where are we going to finish? Oh.
You can add the other geezer if you want. You can add the Lazio geezer if you really want.
No, I honestly don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. But it'd be nice, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think, because I'm saying this because I think Everton aren't guaranteed to have as good a season as I think people think they're going to. I think we could honestly 8th.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Wow, mine's higher.
What are you saying?
6th. I'm saying anywhere between 6th and 10th.
I'll be honest. The reason I'm saying 8th is because I would aim higher, but I have got to take last season into account, and therefore I kind of need to re-trust. Not that I don't trust Bilic, but I need that assurance that Bilic can get us there again. Do you know what I mean?
That he can actually manage.
Well, yeah, because obviously, again, as much as I defended him, and the first season was fantastic, and you can't take that away from him. But it is his 3rd season, and this is the test now to say, well, is he the man who can get us there?
Yeah. And
I think we will know that after about 10, 15 games or so. But I think 8th, 7th would be fucking brilliant, and it's not. If things go to plan, it's not without our reach because we've got the squad to do it. Especially the fact that Stoke have been weakened, and the fact that Everton have brought a lot of imports in from other leagues, I don't think it's a guarantee. But
no, because we tried that and it failed. So
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think that is because my computer's just said about this space. So I think that's probably all we got time for.
Okay.
So yeah, that's first episode out of the way. I'm not gonna put a timestamp on when we'll do another one, just because of timing and whatnot. But this is going to be a regular thing. Like I said, if you watch on YouTube, please subscribe, drop the video a like, let us know some feedback. If it's iTunes, subscribe, drop us a review and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, we'll be back discussing various topics until the Premier League starts, and then that's when we get into the nitty and gritty of all the games. But yeah, I think that's all from us. Anything you want to add, mate?
No.
All good? Awesome. Well, yeah. That's us then. So thanks very much for listening, and we will see you very soon.
Baron.
Bye.